Fred, hello. Hello. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Open him up with a football.
98.5! The Hub!
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers, yes! Na 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 na!
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
You're, I should be saying, it should be, no. Yeah,
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hello, Nicholas.
No.
Yeah, it is you. We are Toucher and Hardy. Good morning, and we are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. We're in the Town Fair Tire Studios. You can always call us if you're awake on your Veterans Day. There was a little bit of traffic coming in.
There was. I was surprised.
Yeah.
And that one minivan that was going 110, weaving in and out of traffic in the wet pavement. Good luck to you if you're not dead already.
I wonder where they had to go. I mean, in the minivan. I wonder if they did make way for the milk truck.
I don't know.
You know, and we can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and all of that stuff. 617-779-0985. I was telling you guys before the show yesterday, I saw the 21st movie of the year with my daughter. As this has become something that we do, even if the movie is of no interest to us. And at 8 o'clock last night, the movie that was playing was the new Venom movie. Now, what's going on in Venom, I don't know. They never explain it. But he's the Tom Hardy, who's a big fan of Czarface, Esoteric's rap group. He is a man who's got some kind of monster inside of him. Now, the monster and him are good friends, but then there's this other realm, and I really don't understand what's going on. But regardless, but I know that Tom Hardy is a big fan of Esoteric, so I am watching the movie. I don't really know what's going on, but in fairness to me, I'm not looking at my cellular phone. I'm watching the movie.
That's an upset.
And they're in Las Vegas, and who is walking down the road? It's just him and Tom Hardy walking down the road, and he bumps into Tom Hardy, but our own friend Esoteric in the movie. They're in flesh and bone.
Interesting that he had never brought this up to us. We've seen him somewhat recently. And, you know, he was in here. He was a DJ for this show for, 2 hours?
Yeah.
You know, he was in here. We asked him about all sorts of things. Interesting he didn't care to share that with us.
Well, based on your description of his time on screen, Fred, maybe he was worried that he wouldn't actually end up in the film.
Yeah, perhaps. But, yeah, perhaps. But there he was, but they flew him to Vegas. I mean, it was in Vegas. They did shoot it. So Tom Hardy likes him enough, and that's the first time I've ever seen Tom Hardy in a movie. He's not a tall guy. He doesn't look like a suit action hero, you know?
This movie that I saw him in, he was really good in, was Warrior, where he was an MMA guy.
So you never saw the Dark Knight Rises with Bane.
He was Bane?
He's Bane.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have seen Tom Hardy in something, and he was Bane. And then, wouldn't you know, on Saturday night I'm out, I'm in the South End, you know, rubbing elbows with the people of the city. And who comes up to me and gives me a hug, and then we start hanging out, but Ben Carr, the gentleman who dances on stage with the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, who was a part of NoFX's last show.
What type of soiree were you attending on Saturday night?
It was nothing but a restaurant.
Oh,
But when I walk into a room, my charisma lights it up, and people start going, "Ooh, oh, ooh."
right. And the place is a buzz.
Yeah.
You were wearing a collared shirt, I assume.
Sport coat with a hoodie.
Yes.
Were you really?
Yeah. Did I show you the picture? Yeah, I was wearing a sport coat
You
with a
didn't
hoodie.
show me the picture.
It's that kind of weather. It's tweener weather.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to buy I don't know. I'm gonna have to buy some kind of earth toned, wintry jacket.
Oh.
That's not a North Face.
Oh, Saturday. Yeah, this is what you're doing Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday, I went out and purchased 3 pair of pants.
Oh, my God, Hardy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And
These aren't slacks.
and
These are just pants.
excellent question, Wallach. They are pants, and we'll do a comprehensive discussion of it in the 7, 8, and 9 o'clock hours.
Okay.
I have, and this is not a joke, I have so many emails and DMs to return about the pants, either with pants suggestions or people wanting to know what the same position I'm in.
Cool? Did you go cool?
Tired of wearing jeans. I haven't even gotten to the ones that I was probably most excited about, the cools, because I have to go to REI or someplace
Right.
that sells that brand to find those. But I ended up at 2 different stores at Legacy Place and bought 3 different pair of pants. And I wore one last night to some friends to watch football. I'm wearing another pair right now. And then later in the week, when things get a little chillier on Wednesday or Thursday, that's when I'm going to bust out the find of the weekend. I mean, these are really nice. These might be the most comfortable and my favorites that I'm wearing right now. You want to see them?
Let's see. Oh, look at that.
Right?
Yeah, nice little neutral color you got working there. Nice.
Kind of like a gray. Fred's not even looking.
No, I appreciate it.
I was having a beverage. Go ahead. Let me see.
Dick. Look.
I
look at my
apologize.
pants.
Sharp.
Thanks. But the ones I found at Carhartt,
Well, I mean, Carhartt, how could you pass that up?
Let me tell
I mean,
you
that's the working man's pant right there.
we'll get into it a lot later.
But people, did you go by people's suggestions? Because people wanted to let you know about pants. No.
That's why I went into Carhartt, because of the suggestion there. I went into the other store at Legacy that my wife had bought me shorts at before. I didn't know where they came from, but I really liked the shorts. And I went in there, and I bought 2 pair in there. One of them happened to be corduroys. Very subtle corduroy fabric, but with like a drawstring. I think you're supposed to work out in these things. I will not be working out in any of these pants or any pants. Don't worry about that. But they're pretty comfortable. The ones I'm wearing right now, though, these might be the top vote getter.
Do you think that maybe when they wear out, you could, because you said you bought shorts over there, you can turn any of these pants into shorts?
Absolutely. And Adam 12 has a little template that he uses that he could share with me. Do you have a sewing machine, Adam 12?
I do not have a sewing machine.
Hell, you
have
don't.
But you have access to one.
Probably.
No.
I
He,
can
like-
sew by hand. I mean, I can make fix something, like put a stitch in something.
Yeah, what do you think? He's
Darn a sock.
made of money? He's going to buy a machine that sews?
I have a little old shoebox with some needles and thread and such in it, but I don't have a proper
But
sewing machine.
He's also not going to sew his shorts because he likes the threads, the loose threads.
Yeah.
They add to it. Everyone, if you're around and you're listening to this maybe on podcast, Google Lemmy jean shorts. Just Google Lemmy jean shorts, and they're the greatest jean shorts of all time.
Fantastic.
I'll give you both an opportunity to do
Good
so.
pull. Good reference.
Lemmy jean shorts, and it will come up immediately. The picture I'm talking about will come up immediately.
Oh, yeah. Those are sexy. Those
Yeah.
are good.
Lemmy just said, like, I love jean shorts. I love jeans. I'm hot. I'm cutting these into G-string.
Yeah. That's a good look.
Yeah.
Fred, I do question whether or not you've never seen Tom Hardy in a movie other than Venom and, as you admitted to, Dark Knight Rises, because he's an actor that is unrecognizable in a lot of his roles. Have you seen Black Hawk Down?
Maybe.
Okay. Have you seen The Reckoning?
No.
Have you seen The Revenant? With
No,
Leonardo
I
DiCaprio?
know what it is, but no.
Okay, because that's one of the movies where he is unrecognizable.
Yeah, I had that was when I had the illegal movie site that you could watch movies while they were in the theater, but I never got around to that one.
My friend Dave recommended this movie Bronson to me. It's about, the England's greatest criminal ever, Bronson. And I watched this movie, and really it's an excuse to look at Tom Hardy's uncircumcised penis several times throughout the film. And afterward, I questioned Dave on a lot of things, not only the quality of the film, but
why did he point you in that direction?
Right.
Yeah.
Inception. Have you seen the movie Inception?
Yes. Yes.
All right, you've seen Tom Hardy in a movie.
Okay, well there you go. Maybe he's such a good actor, he kind of blends into things.
Yeah.
Now it's full frontal with his uncircumcised penis.
Yep.
Now he's playing a dangerous game because a lot of women not fans of that, especially women of the United States.
There's there've been a lot of conversations with Tom Hardy, people like interviewers even asking like inappropriate questions about his sexuality, and I don't know that it I don't know that it makes a difference to Tom Hardy whether men, women, or any particular gender find him attractive. I think he might be fluid.
Ooh, that's fun.
The movie The Drop with James Gandolfini. That's one you would like, Fred. You should watch that one. Write that one down.
Okay.
The Drop.
Is that about when John Amos dies in Good Times? And she drops the punch bowl? Is it the story behind that? Is it like a reverse time?
Damn.
It starts with her dropping the punch bowl, and then they go back, and it's John Amos's perspective on his own death?
Yeah. Well, that you pretty much know. Oh, Mad Max Fury Road. Tom Hardy's in that.
Never saw that.
Okay, I'm looking up Tom Hardy. You want to see?
Yeah.
Tom Hardy on his this is according to Tom Hardy Online is the website.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy and his sexuality. Of course, I've had sex with men. I'm an actor, for F's sake.
Yeah.
He's happily married to Charlotte Riley. They have 2 children. But when he was a single man in his teens and 20s, Hardy admits he did have to share his experimenting with sex, drugs, and alcohol.
There you go.
Yeah, he was Heathcliff in the BBC remake of Wuthering Heights.
That's where you've seen him.
Yes. Yeah, he says, I played with everything and everyone. I love the form and the physicality, but now it doesn't do it for me. I'm done experimenting, but there's plenty of stuff in a relationship with another man, especially gay men, I need in my life. Interesting.
Yeah.
What that is a good point, though. Like, of course, I'm fluid. That's actually a funny way of putting it. Of course, I'm fluid. I'm an actor. Because if you think about it, I mean, the theater is, there's a lot of gay men in the theater, and why shouldn't there be? I never understood why actors nowadays would have to closet themselves. I don't know how much it matters.
I don't know that it does. I don't. Well, easy for me to say because I haven't had to deal with it, but I would think it's less of an issue or not an issue at all compared to what it was even 20 years ago. And then you go back to the Rock Hudson days. I'm like, oh, no. All man over here.
Yeah, we've come a long way since Billy Crystal and Soap. Long way.
Great pull.
Thanks.
You know who was in Soap before she got super hot? Mona. Yeah, Mona. Was she loose in that one too?
I don't remember.
Huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, Soap was something that was on TV when I was little, and it was well above
Even
my head.
I never watched it. Nope.
The guy with the puppet, the ventriloquist.
Oh, he was crazy, that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had the puppet. But who was the male star of that show? Not Richard Mulligan.
See, I thought it was Richard Mulligan. It's not?
No, I think it's another white-haired comedic actor that's not Richard Mulligan. Richard Mulligan, of course, Empty Nest with the Suzu guy, Thomas Suzu, and Christy McNichol in the Empty Nest. And that nest was not so empty. The girls moved back in.
Richard Mulligan. I don't know the guy's name. I'm looking at a picture of him right now. Though.
Yeah.
Yes, whatever.
Well,
No, it's a show that we're all aware of. John, like you, I knew it was on. Never watched it. Never watched one second of it.
No, I was not a big soap guy. No, I have watched some episodes, but
Bob Guillaume was on that show.
yeah, Robert Guillaume, Bobby Guillaume.
Ted Wass and Danny Dallas. What else was he in, Fred?
Who?
Ted Wass is the guy's name. Played Danny Dallas in Soap. He was also the dad on a very famous sitcom.
Ted Wass?
Wass.
Of what era?
He was in Soap. The sitcom I'm thinking of is 90s. You'll never get this since you don't know who Ted Wass is. He was the dad for Blossom. He was Blossom's dad.
Oh.
In the movie Soap.
Did you watch every
jazz musician?
Did you watch every episode of Blossom?
That would be tough to say. I can't rule it out as being true. I would err on the side of no, but I would also err on the side of I've seen the vast majority. I would tell you I know I've seen the vast majority of Blossoms.
All right. And so Robert Guillaume's role.
Don't know about the future. That's anybody's guess.
Oh, man.
No reason sitting around and getting all depressed.
Yep.
Get out your pen and paper. I'll give you a piece of my mind.
Leon Redbone.
Kind of a fake one.
Okay.
He only came out for Mr. Belvedere.
Yeah, Blossom's next door neighbor. What was her name? Her best friend.
Oh, a 6?
Is that sounds right?
Yeah,
I
6.
think that's right. 6.
Yeah, everyone knows that she was good looking. If you want to do yourself a favor, you can also go to YouTube and look at very special episodes of Mr. Belvedere. There was a lot of ones about molestation.
Oh no.
Mm.
And then there's an episode of Silver Spoons where a boy tells his arm's broken, and he tells Ricky Stratton that he fell, but then he tells him in confidence, "My dad hit me, but don't tell anyone." So then the kid comes back the next day. He's got a black eye and a broken arm, and he says, "My dad can't help himself." So Mr. Stratton has him over. And when Mr. Stratton's trying to tell him something, the guy pushes Mr. Stratton.
Ooh.
But then he realizes that he's got an anger problem, calls the boy in, and says, "I'm going to go get some counseling." And then they all hug, and then no one calls the police. And that's the actual episode of Silver Spoons. Face to face. A couple of silver spoons. If you want to, since it's a holiday, I could just sing you the theme to every 80s theme song. Here we are, face to face, a couple of silver spoons, hoping to find
We're two of a kind.
Making it go,
Together,
making it grow
yeah,
together. We're gonna find our way.
You and I together. Is it taking the time each day
to learn all about those things you just can't hide? Two silver spoons together. I got a weird train in my living room that doesn't even seem like it would cost a lot of money. You remember, John, when he would ride the train in Mr. Stratton?
I do remember that. And that's Alfonso Ribeiro showed up right around then.
You know, if you watch it as an adult, Erin Gray is very attractive. And I didn't think so when I was a youngster because she didn't have huge boobs, which was when I was about 8 or 9. Unless she had giant boobs, I wasn't really paying attention to you.
Yeah.
But now Erin Gray, because, I was a Brenda Starr guy.
Sure.
But if you had giant jugs, I would be. And then when I got older and actual sexual, then that started not to matter as much. It mattered, but not as much. And that's where we are. All right. What happened last evening? You have
that brings us up to today.
That's right. And what we will do is the Patriots with a big-time win. We will go over all the NFL action, everything else. The Celtics played in a game yesterday where everyone complained. We will have all that for you in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. New England Patriots tied for second place in the AFC East.
It's a hell of a thing as they were in Chicago yesterday, taking on Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, and Drake May taking the field. And wondering, what's the game plan going to be against these Chicago Bears? They're going to run the ball. They're going to pass the ball. They did a bit of both.
Play fake by May, deep drop, time to fire to the right side, looking for Hooper, and he makes the catch,
What a throw,
extending,
Bob.
falling backward on a dime by May. Over the top of Kyler Gordon.
What a throw by May. I didn't think he was going to get this ball over the defender to get it to Hooper, who's running a bend route.
Hooper, by the way, one of these guys who pops up, it seems, every once in a while. You think that Hunter Henry might be the only viable target for Drake May, and then all of a sudden out of the Hooper, there he comes. There he is, and he's got pretty good hands.
Yes.
I'm impressed with this Hooper kid.
He's been around a while.
Well, I mean, he inherited the store.
All right, there we go. It's a Hooper. It's a Sesame Street reference.
Ah, yes.
Do you remember when you were, John was probably in his 20s, I was 8 years old, when Mr. Hooper died on Sesame Street?
I don't remember that.
On set and live one day. It was terrible.
Oh.
Did he really die on set?
No, I don't think so.
Because there was a...
Red Fox died on set, and they thought it was a gag.
No, because he was saying, I'm gonna join you.
He had a heart attack, and people thought he was doing like a pratfall. He was doing like some physical comedy, but when they were in the middle of shooting whatever sitcom he was on at the time.
When I was 8 years old, and this was before modern times, when this is a children's television network, they did an episode of Sesame Street where they addressed the death of Mr. Hooper. Like Big Bird is very sad and doesn't understand that he's not coming back, and the whole episode is about how Mr. Hooper died, and he had died in real life. It was very controversial television at the time, but then lauded by everyone. It was praised as something else. But every time I hear Hooper, some of you probably think Burt Reynolds, like thugs, but I think of Mr. Hooper.
Well, I think of Burt Reynolds because there ain't nothing like the life of a Hollywood stuntman. Stuntman.
Was it Jan Michael Vincent? Is that the guy who was with him in that movie?
He was the up and coming
Trying to
stuntman.
bump Hooper off.
Yeah. But you know what? They got together at the end and they did that rocket car jump together. Because one of them had to work the controls. That's a two-man jump. One to drive, one to watch the gauges, which I never 100% bought in on.
Can't take your eyes off the road for a second.
But I don't think you needed a separate guy just to watch the gauges.
Damn it, it was a complicated stunt. You had to worry about the water tower falling over. Very difficult stunt. Got to fully concentrate on driving, Hardy.
Austin Hooper, 3 catches on 4 targets, 2 of them for over 20 yards. What else was part of the game plan yesterday? Getting to Caleb Williams.
He waits on the snap from the 31 of New England officially. He takes it, stands in, pocket squeezing down, and so
he's
goes.
got to get rid of that.
Williams sacked down on the field at the 40. As Dietrich Wise picks up another for New England. Second straight week, a sack for Wise.
Wise stays with it, wraps him up. Bad job by Williams.
Okay, you watch Drake May, and for those of you who think, well, you know what, Drake May panics a little bit. He runs too much out of the pocket, and maybe he should stay in there a couple extra seconds. This is what happens to you if you hold the ball in the NFL. Patriots had 9 sacks yesterday. I'm going to ask the room, how many of those sacks is Caleb Williams responsible for?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'd say at least 3, maybe more.
I was going to say maybe even more than half. I could go as high as 4 or 5.
He holds the ball and holds the ball and holds the ball. He's a statue back there.
But his offensive line was...
Yeah, but, I mean, look,
brutal
Drake
yesterday.
May's offensive line is brutal most weeks, and he manages to run away from the pressure. Caleb Williams isn't a slow kid. He just lacks. He has an alarming lack of pocket presence.
This happens to rookie quarterbacks. It's not generally like a straight line up. They start panicking and falling into bad habits. And this is I don't think he's going to end up like this. I think he's too talented, but this is a little Zach Wilson-y. Like, I mean, the way he played yesterday, he looked completely overwhelmed, and I don't really know how he was so overwhelmed by the Patriots defense, and a credit to the Patriots defense, but, I mean, he played, as you all saw, incredibly poorly. He looked, I mean, we'll talk about it a bunch of times, but Drake May looked like the better quarterback.
Yeah.
With the more composed quarterback and the more skilled quarterback, which I don't imagine is true that he's as physically skilled as Caleb Williams, obviously.
No.
But you wouldn't know that by watching yesterday.
Now, Williams, there was a bad drop early. Adunze had a bad drop early, but there were a couple of rollouts where there were guys wide open near the sideline, and Williams airmailed a couple of them.
Yes.
And that was after he got sacked a bunch of times. Look, Caleb Williams obviously is physically gifted, but that quarterback isn't going to be an all-pro anytime soon. He's not going to just magically reappear and be awesome. This is a long process, and the Bears are built to win now. They're 4-5. I don't see how this team's going to get any better this season.
If you want to make an excuse for Caleb Williams, he had to deal with something that opposing quarterbacks have not had to deal with so far.
Takes the snap, drops back. Wise applying pressure from the quarterback's right.
Schooler
comes in as well.
Yeah.
He's got there for the sack.
What a call.
Deion White, a third defender in the backfield as the Patriots take down Williams.
That's a great call by DeMarcus Washington. Schooler comes up. He's showing blitz, and he drops. And what he is, he's the spy for Caleb Williams.
That's right. As getting snaps at safety, his first career sack. I said snack because I'm thinking of Schooner Tuna, the tuna with a heart. Brendan Schooler, Mr. Mom, Schooner Tuna.
Jeez, of
Come
course. I totally blanked on that. That's me.
Getting one of those sacks of the 9 that you mentioned, Wallach. 2 for Dietrich Wise yesterday. Anthony Jennings had 2 sacks yesterday. So yeah, huge credit to the defense, and that's essentially what Drake May had to say after the game, because once again we're deciding who this guy is, and what you think of him and how he's handling himself in a lot of these situations as a rookie. But for him to go up there and say, yeah, it was good, but really it's all about the defense, and he is the first one to give credit to someone else after a win like that, and that's what the Patriots got yesterday in Chicago, 19-3. Drake May, 15 of 25 for 184 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and Caleb Williams, rough outing for him, 16 of 30, 120 yards, and sacked 9 times.
I don't know.
So in the battle of the rookies, Drake May, we were having the conversation last week. Who would you rather have right
10
now?
10 times out of 10 for this season. Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams is, again, the more talented quarterback, at least coming out of college. He can do more things. And he's not like, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, who's played a million games in college. I mean, he's a young kid. He's relatively inexperienced, but comparatively to and even Penix,
Yeah.
But, yeah, we talked about it last week. If you had to win the game on Sunday, I would take Drake May, obviously. And now Drake May could end up being the better quarterback, but, I mean, he shouldn't be the better quarterback, but he might be. So there you go.
The thing that if I'm a Bears fan, the Patriots tried to hand the game to Chicago early. I mean, you watched the first quarter. You had that long punt return to midfield to start. You had the bad Drake May interception. You had that bad Joey Sly kickoff where he didn't make the landing zone.
He was trying to keep it under the wind, John.
And that handed Chicago the ball on the 40-yard line.
Okay.
So three possessions that started midfield in the first quarter, they did nothing with it.
I like the idea. I think his head was in the right place. It was just, the wrong execution of the right idea.
And it's funny because it's not like Drake May was unbelievable yesterday. I mean, he threw a bunch of balls that could have been intercepted. But
he just made that one bad play, but you're right. He wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible either. And
he could have had three. He could have had 3 interceptions.
Oh, sure.
I mean, he was not great. But he was better than Caleb Williams.
There was a play where the Patriots tried to get tricky, and you had the reverse with the throwback. And usually when you have the reverse with the throwback, there's a guy open downfield. The idea is to all this trickery to get the long ball, Patriots can't block anybody. So
Well, they picked up 7 yards.
yeah, it was a reverse throwback for a screen on the sideline.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
see that.
No, they were talking about it on the broadcast. They were saying that, wow, you usually
Usually you just throw the ball out in the flat.
was it a fake reverse? Like it was
It
something.
was a reverse. It was a handoff, and
Yeah.
then the wide receiver came back and he tossed it back to May.
Yeah.
But the line can't block for that long. So
It's asking a little too much.
So he had to throw the ball out the flat for a screen.
Well, in fairness, also those plays take a while to develop. I mean, that's
For a screen
You need
pass.
some time. You got to let those things breathe.
or you could just throw a screen pass. But yes,
Yes, or just do it that way.
Once again, I'm amazed, though, at watching not just the Bears yesterday, but whether it's the Chiefs or the Lions or any team that you think, even if they're not good, you think they're not terrible. They were terrible. 142 net yards yesterday for the Bears, and somehow that snapped an 8-game home win streak. How did that team, watching that team yesterday, it's the first full game I've watched with the Bears this year, managed to win their last 8 at home. And I know that goes back to last season.
well,
too, but good God.
last year Fields was playing well for
They
them. That's
finished
why
real well last half of the season.
and that's why they retained their coach. But it's interesting because people had more than a few had them winning the NFC North this year before the season, which was ludicrous. Even, I mean, obviously I'm no prognosticator, but that was ludicrous that in that division that they were going to win that division.
On paper, though, you look at it and they were talented. On paper.
No, I understand, but it's,
yeah, DJ Moore had a bad false start. I mean, they gave up in the fourth quarter.
all
that
right.
head coach shouldn't have a job. He's terrible.
Well, he deserved to keep it last season.
Not now.
Yeah, no, not now. But and then you got to be careful because you got to hit the next coach because you can't just keep giving Caleb Williams new coaches. That's a certain way to disaster. But that division, I mean, had the NFC, the team that should have won the NFC Championship game, the Packers that made the playoffs, and an incredibly well-coached Minnesota team, and you thought that not you, but people thought Caleb Williams was going to come in there, he was going to jump all those teams. That's ludicrous. That's ridiculous. I know there's a lot of parity in the NFL, but not like that. That was a joke. But listen, here's what you know in synopsis in 45 seconds. You know that they're not the worst coach team in the NFL. You know that the team's playing hard, and you know that you have a quarterback. Win. People are going to go, oh, what about the draft class? The draft class sucks beyond Drake May. That's unfortunate, maybe, but and I know Polk had a touchdown yesterday, but that's unfortunate. But that's really, really nitpicking garbage. That is just to complain.
Yeah, give Mayo credit. He coached circles around that guy yesterday.
Your coach outcoached a veteran coach, and your rookie quarterback outplayed the first pick in the draft. I don't care about the rest of the draft class. Now, you can't do it again and whiff on a bunch of guys in the draft. And by the way, if someone's been hurt, that doesn't make it a bad draft pick. They're just hurt. But, Polk maybe won't be a, top 3 receiver on a team in the NFL. But if you're a Patriot fan, you have to be pleased. You have to be pleased. Regardless of what else happens, as long as May continues to develop and, and Mayo's not thoroughly crushed and this team continues to try, you have to like it.
One small thing, because they won and because there are so many bad teams in the NFL, Patriots have dropped from the first overall pick in the NFL draft to 7th with that win.
Well, the Jets are now on full-on tankathon watch because they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub. Said you wanted to hear more music in the morning.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
And hello again, everyone. A very pleasant good afternoon, and welcome to Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois, for this encounter in Week 10 of the 2-7 New England Patriots and the 4-4 Chicago Bears. Bears. Bears got the best of me. I said, Bears on my fantasy. I said, Bears ain't what I like. We do it all night, all right. And Bob Douglas with 2 blockers, sprints across the 35-40.
You get the big guy up there blocking. An excellent time to get a little guy in space. That's hard for a big guy to do.
Bears got the best of me. We do it all night, all right.
Booty and Polk to the left. Booty and Polk. May with the play fake in the pocket, wide open receiver, left Polk, and it's an easy flip and catch for a touchdown, Patriots!
Oh, you have an adversity that hits you the first 2 quarters, and Drake May settles down on his drive. That's a good job by him moving the football team.
Bears got the best of me. I said, Bears on my fantasy. I said, Bears ain't what I like. We do it all night, all right. Bears.
And they're dumping out. Startup buses. Thank God.
Oh, I love it. A little Tommy Goss. In honor of the Patriot victory over the Bears.
Thank you to Tom Goss for, I reached out to him yesterday and I said, Tom, I need an instrumental version of Bears. Can you help me out? And he was Johnny on the spot. He said, absolutely. Direct from the artist.
Yeah. Yeah. He seems like the kind of guy who would work pretty hard.
Absolutely. He was, checking his email on a Sunday, sending me tracks. So thank you to Tom Goss for that.
Very good. Oh, I like that one. We got to play that a few times. We got to play that this week, I just think, in honor of the victory.
Yeah.
Thank God they won.
Absolutely. So I don't know if it was a surprise for the Patriots to get that win. You have no idea really what to expect from this team right now. They'll be home to take on the Rams. The Rams of Los Angeles on Sunday. But you mentioned it a few minutes ago, Wallach. Go from a team that is looking at the 1st or 2nd overall pick, and now, right now, if they were drafting, they'd be picking 7th.
Yep.
They've got the Rams, which you don't know.
They're gonna lose to the Rams.
I would think, but I do like their chances at the Dolphins, based on the way the Dolphins are playing.
I don't with Tua back. Look. If we're gonna do this, I'll play along. They're gonna get thoroughly outcoached by McVay. I think McVay is arguably the best coach in the NFL.
I'm with you, Fred. They'll lose to the Rams.
Yeah. And then who do they play after that? You said they play the Dolphins at Miami. No, that's not a win.
Is where they have trouble.
They
had Tom Brady. Yeah,
the next win is they have the Colts at home, which is a very winnable game. That game they could win. The
Rams come on off a short week. Rams don't play until tonight. I never know.
No, the Rams, McVay,
West Coast coming east.
I understand all of that. The Rams are not a bad team. The Rams are a playoff team, by the way.
Decent team.
And I think if you said you have to sign one coach that's not, Andy Reid, I think I'd go McVay over anyone.
Over Shanahan?
Yeah. For
Niners?
Sure.
Really?
Yes. I think that he's a better coach than Shanahan. I do. In fact, there's guys I take, even more guys I take in front of Shanahan. I'd take, I'd obviously take Andy Reid. I'd take McVay. I'd take Kevin O'Connell. There's guys that I would take above Shanahan.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell could be coach of the year.
I'm not being ironic. Dan Campbell.
No, I wouldn't take Dan Campbell above them. I'd take
Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh.
I'm not taking that.
I think McVay's a better coach than both of those. I think McVay's a really, really good coach, and that's not a great look. They lost Aaron Darnold, and their defensive line is unbelievable.
Tomlin's
a really good coach, but I'd still take McVay.
Okay.
I'd still take McVay.
All right, so let's move on to the Celtics, who were taking on the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday.
Torian Prince driving on Derek White, who stays with him, blocks the shot into the hands of Al Horford. Al Horford into the front court, drop back for the trailer. Tatum zips an entry. It gets to Jaylen Brown. He puts it off the window and in. It's a 5-point game. Immediate timeout for Doc Rivers.
Jesus.
What the hell just happened?
So, according to Ryan Beaton, who was producing the broadcast yesterday, Max was trying to do a RoboCop sound. Why was he trying to do RoboCop?
Well, they were playing in Detroit, right?
No, they were playing Milwaukee.
Oh, he should have just gone, hey. Or told Giannis to sit on it.
Yeah.
Not sure. This is when the...
Cedric Maxwell played Styx on the show Happy Days. Yes.
I had no idea.
Again, Styx comes in. Fonzie says he's gotten dates for Richie and his friend for prom. Richie's sitting there, and they wait. The woman waits for who her date will be. And Fonzie brings in Styx, who's an African-American gentleman. And the woman passes out because she says he's black.
Styx was offered ice cream at one point in one of his appearances on the show, and he was asked if he wanted chocolate or vanilla, and he pointed at his own skin, and he said, chocolate.
Yes.
Just to drive home the point that there was a black character on Happy Days that you were watching on your TV.
And if you know anything about Milwaukee, very few black people.
So the Celtics were down 17 to Milwaukee yesterday, but we're listening to part of the comeback here.
Tatum, bounce entry, gets to Jaylen Brown. He loses Damian Lillard. Good help from Lopez. Kick out. Horford finds the open man. Holiday, corner three. Got it.
That was good stuff. I mean, and then Brown, not to take that shot against a big, swing it back around and get a three-point shot. Down by 2.
He's on fire.
They clawed their way back. And when the Celtics took the lead, there was people reaching out to Wallach on this.
Yes.
There were people reaching out to what did they say to you?
They said to me that Grandy and Max are talking about Zolak. You need to tune in. They're talking about Zolak right now.
So this is the moment when apparently Zolak is invoked in some way. I have not yet heard it.
Right hand dribble lob for Horford. He's inside out on Jackson. Scores with the left hand.
Counted it one.
Foul.
So that...
Well, you know what? That was a pretty... Zoe does it. So why can't you do it?
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you for giving me that liberty. Had him by the arm. Counted it one.
Go, you call the free throw, and I'll do so.
Okay. Al Horford measuring up here. About to shoot the free throw.
He got it. He got it. He got the free throw.
Okay.
I love Zoe. Hey, listen, if we could all be as passionate about life as Zoe is, we'd all be happy.
Zoe told me.
3-point play.
Would you? Here's my question
I'm laughing because I see Fred's wheels turning from over here.
Yeah. He's like, I love Zoe. Be careful. He doesn't start crying at the end of games like you did, like a lunatic. When you cried after they won the championship, not because you were so overwhelmed with the championship, which would have been weird enough, but you said a big, long, teary goodbye, and then here we are. You're welcome. And
I love you, and I think you know that.
No love.
By the way, not one person in the business or outside that doesn't think that was absolutely lunatic behavior.
No love between Giannis and Jaylen Brown yesterday after Jaylen caught an elbow from Giannis.
Yeah.
And then he was helped off the floor. Yeah. Giannis went to shake his hand and then did the...
Yeah. Ralph Mouse style.
Which my 14-year-old son won't even do anymore when we're done playing ping pong or anything else.
Oh, it was
even
fantastic.
He has abandoned that move.
No, that was pretty funny. I mean, if that was pretty funny. If Draymond Green did it, everyone would think it was fantastic.
No, I don't think that's true.
He shook the hand, and then Jaylen Brown's like, okay. In the NBA, where they all have the same agent and they're all looking out for each other, that was funny. And by the way, just real quick, we have to break. I kept hearing this foul. It wasn't called on Giannis. They asked Mazzulla about it after the game, and he said it's atrocious. And I went, oh my God, what happened? Was Tatum going up for a dunk and was just John, I know I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I'm like, was Tatum going up for a dunk and got, twisted around and thrown on his head? Did he almost break his neck? And it's like, no. He was shooting a 3, and Giannis got in his space.
He landed in his. He put his foot in his
landing
landing
area.
space.
It's a flagrant foul. The Tatum turned his ankle.
Yeah,
Could have been potentially dangerous.
Just 10 seconds worth here. Jaylen Brown asked about Giannis and that handshake switcheroo after the game.
He fake shook your hand and pulled it back. Are you laughing at that? Do you think it's funny, or does that kind of piss you off?
Giannis is a child. I'm just focused on helping my team get a win, and that's what we did tonight.
Oh, he's a child.
He is a child.
Mm-hmm.
Jose, you're a child. You won't even look me in the eye. Why do you close your eyes when we kiss?
I come to you defenses down with the trust of a child.
You're a child.
But you're the one being the child.
If being a child means opening myself up and having emotions and learning to love, then color me a child. You, sir, are a child because you can't come to grips with the fact that you have feelings. All right, very good.
I have to let you go.
The NBA,
Nope.
To carry a
child.
To have a birth canal, please.
Nope.
Make a procedure while I can. All right, so we'll be right back. The NFL is promoting something. This is sort of random, but it's Veterans Day. They're promoting something that is we all individually were puzzled by without even talking about it. We'll get into it in just a moment.
and businesses running. Keep working hard and finish every job strong.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston.
Patriots!
From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass.
Yes.
98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Well, the Patriots only scored one touchdown yesterday, but that was one more than Chicago had.
He takes the snap, he rolls to the near side, he's in trouble, and down he goes.
What the hell was that?
Anthony Jennings is back there. Second time he's gotten to the quarterback for the Patriots.
Bob, they're on the left hash. They ran a sprint left where no one's open. Into the sideline.
That's Bob Socci and Scott Zolak yesterday. It was also one of 9 sacks the defense had in a 19-3 win over the Bears at Soldier Field. Anthony Jennings and Dietrich Wise had 2 sacks apiece. The Bears managed 11 first downs and had their only third down conversion in the third quarter. Patriots have won 2 of 3. They're 3-7 on the season. They host the LA Rams on Sunday in Foxborough. The Rams are 4-4. They don't play until tonight against Miami. In other NFL news, Kansas City is down 9-0. They blocked the field goal on the final play of the game for a 16-14 home win over Denver. And Detroit's now 8-1 after overcoming 5 Jared Goff interceptions for a 26-23 win in Houston. Celtics got 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists from Jason Tatum. They came back from down 17 in the second quarter for a win in Milwaukee yesterday, 113-107. Giannis Antetokounmpo scored 43 for the Bucks, but the Celtics are now 9-2. They're back home tomorrow night to play Atlanta in Game 1 of pool play in the NBA Cup, and the Bruins are off until tomorrow night when they visit the Blues in St. Louis. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. All active military and veterans will receive a free lunch today from a special menu with a purchase of another entree. Veterans Day special available at all 99 restaurants. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Get the
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app. Half toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Simply search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube as you hopefully have the day off this Veterans Day, and then you can just simply watch the show at your convenience whenever you want. It's up there on YouTube or on the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. It's very exciting, but yesterday there was a overtime real barn burner going on between your Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. It went into overtime. I was happened to be doing something where I was listening to the ESPN New York because they don't have the Giant games, and I was interested in some pregame to see just how few points the Jets would score later in the day. And they were talking about how, you know, a lot of these coaches, they get fired after they're overseas. And, you know, that game was held in Germany, and Dayball is certainly on the hot seat. If Dayball was somehow get fired by the Giants, I would love, if I was rooting for a certain team, I would like them to pick him up as a coach. I think Dayball's a good coach. He just has no quarterback. And we were all talking about this, is that, you know, there have been moments in sports, far too many to mention. I mean, to the heavier with, you know, what was it, the 68 Olympics, when the track and field runners put the glove fists in the air.
Mexico City. Yep.
Yeah, Mexico City. You have that. You have everything that happened post 9/11 with all the wonderful things that happened and how sports brought people together after the marathon bombing. You had David Ortiz go, "This is our effing city," and that became one of the great rallying points of Boston. There are so many times that crowds have meant a lot. Sports, if you want to or not, admit it or not, I mean, they are, you know, just distractions, but they can create fellowship and unity among communities and bring people together. They do. Sports and society was a class you could take in college. Not difficult, but you could take it. So when you're over in Europe and you think, okay, here we are, Germany, certainly this is not 100 years ago. Germany seems to be very westernized, seems to be our friend. But still they're having a United States game. I hesitate to say an American game because the Americas stretch far past the United States. And whenever they show a promo of an NFL team in Europe, they play this. And anyone's thoughts on why this is what you would play?
Do you have it?
But they're still going to be chanting. Listen to this. What a scene. They're still chanting as Devin Singletary rips one off for a first down.
They've been missing those big plays. We got 3 of them on this drive. Big play to Robinson, the big play to Neighbors, and then a big run right there.
All right. Well, that is not the one where they wax about how that's not the right one, actually, to be honest. Let's be honest. That was not the good one.
Oh, we've all failed, Fred.
Which?
No, I set up something that we didn't pay off. My bad.
But did you play? But did you play the? Did you play it out of your Vox Pro?
I did.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I think Hardy has the one that you want.
Okay, let's go to Hardy.
I don't.
It's the same one. So
Whoops.
yeah,
it's the same one.
It's the same one.
Okay, so that's not the one that I want either.
Well, let's pretend you had played the right one. What was your response going to be?
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe it was a little bit of a stretch anyway.
So
maybe it's good it's Veterans Day and that no one's up.
The point is, they insist on singing this song, and
I want to know why.
Why is it?
Why do they sing this song?
No,
Oktoberfest.
that's not why. The reason to play it was, if you really want to get into it and not just pretend it never happened.
Sure.
Is that they get all emotional talking about it as if it was this like wonderful that it was like like Moscow, like singing singing the United States national anthem.
Well, you got a taste of that from Rich Eisen. Listen, everyone, listen. They're singing John Denver.
No, because that's more like they're just singing while the play's still going on. It's actually the antithesis of the point that we were all talking about in the other room. When we were talking about in the other room, it was about how they run a promo on the NFL Network every day.
The actual, yes.
About, and then it's Rich Eisen and the guys talking about how this is unbelievable and how beautiful it all is.
It's almost a reason to watch the game.
Just how it's bringing the NFL is bringing countries together.
Yes,
and that this is amazing. And all I'm saying is they're singing a pop song that has nothing to do with anything except mislabeling where places in the United States are. Because the Blue Ridge Mountains are not in West Virginia.
Oh,
yeah, they are not in West Virginia. So if anything, it's a geographically dumb John Denver.
Where do the Blue Ridge Mountains run?
North Carolina, I believe. North Carolina into Tennessee is the Blue Ridge Mountains. Let's see here. Bill, go ahead.
Hey, Freddie, how's it going?
Oh, well, I'm trying. Go ahead. What's up?
Hardy, out of work, Bill.
You're out of work?
I'm out of work, Bill, from Hardy's show.
Oh.
It's actually his
the
real
golf
name
show? Is it the golf show? Oh,
the excellent Hardy afternoon show.
Yeah, the Zolak and Bertrand was often called the Hardy Show. Hardy's show. So.
On BCN, Hardy.
Oh, we're going way back back to BCN.
Sir.
Out of work, Bill. How are you? Still out of work?
I am not, but seriously, this is why they play that song. Much like Mitch from Baywatch, John Denver's real name is Henry Duftendorf, and he's a German immigrant.
Oh.
And that's why the Germans love him.
All right. Very good. I heard they played Screwdriver, too, but that's a whole other point based on some of the more militant aspects of the whole situation.
Of course. It was easy to put together.
By the way, the Blue Ridge Mountains, Fred, run through many states, including West Virginia.
What about Shenandoah River? Something is wrong in that song. He mislabels something, famously mislabels something geographically in that song.
The Shenandoah River goes through West Virginia.
Well, all right. Well, what do I know?
You're thinking of Born and Raised in South Detroit from the Journey song, which is not a thing.
No, I've always been told that there was geographical problems in that song.
All right. So a couple of things on the actual song. The songwriter was a guy who also wrote Afternoon Delight. He was asked why it's such a popular song. And he said, I don't know, because it's easy to sing along to. He said that, I have no idea. It's singable, but so is Call Me Maybe. Maybe Call Me Maybe will be the song 40 years from now. This guy doesn't care, and it's his song.
That guy didn't want to talk to whoever was interviewing him. He was like, will you please go? I don't know. Just leave me alone.
Bill Danoff, who was also in the Starlight vocal band.
Here's the thing. Take Me Home, Country Roads is about Maryland. The song was written about Maryland. And that is what the thing. The original Country Road was Clapper Road in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The song was originated by Bill Danoff and Mary Catherine Taffy Nevert. So that's what the whole situation was.
Okay.
That it was written about Maryland, where the Blue Ridge Mountains and Shenandoah River, I believe, come to play.
All right. Well,
anyway,
they started singing at Oktoberfest. It made its way over to the games, but just get used to this because the NFL said they're going to do what 8 international games next year.
8 games next year.
So we're going to get more of Sean Hockley really getting into the German spirit.
Verstadt, Angriff.
Oh.
5 Yards treffen. It's by the center. It's third down.
Oh, look at Sean Hockley.
There we go. Showing up.
All right.
Now for everybody. Good for him.
He did the same thing.
Okay. Now since Hardy fact checked, I'm going to fact check what I just fact checked, and then we'll move along because this isn't even the segment we wanted to do. The location. The song's opening lyrics mention the Blue Ridge Mountains and Shenandoah River, which are mainly in Virginia. However, the song's refrain mentions West Virginia. Denver may not have known that the scenery he was singing about was more in West Virginia than Western Virginia than West Virginia because he had never been to West Virginia when he recorded the song. The Blue Ridge Mountains and the Shenandoah River only run through a small part of West Virginia at the edge of the eastern panhandle. So, I mean, technicality?
No. If you live in that portion of West Virginia and you're driving through the Blue Ridge Mountains to get there, then you can sing about it.
Maybe he's never been there.
There's no vindication for you, Fred. He didn't even write the song.
No, I know. But the people that did meant it about Maryland. You know? All I'm saying, it's no big ode to West Virginia. Let's just get that out of the way.
So he doesn't belong in West Virginia. He belongs in Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland or in Virginia, not West Virginia.
If you just added a syllable to West Virginia and said Western Virginia, we wouldn't have been having this discussion. Or if we'd found the right clip, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion.
No, if we had played the right clip, we would be making fun of the NFL Network. Right. Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's actually the controversy. So in the song, it actually sounds like he says Western Virginia, which obviously isn't a thing, but that's what the big controversy is because a lot of the things don't go through Western Virginia because it doesn't exist. But because of his German descent, I think they like him so much over there because, A, he had like a billion DUIs and also crashed his plane while he was drunk, but he also hit his wife a lot. So
is that true?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so they think that he actually killed his wife, but he crashed the plane so they could never, investigate it.
Wow, well, now I'm glad we played the wrong song. Because now I'm finding all these things about Johnny Denver from the Muppets. You're alleging did all these things. I don't want the Denver estate to sue us. But
it's alleged. It's a big thing. It's like if you go down the rabbit hole, he used to get drunk and beat his wife, but she's I don't know, so Americanized where it was okay back then, but then one day she died. Nobody knows. He was like, I don't know. I really know what happened, but they're pretty sure he killed him.
And let's not give him too much credit. He didn't crash a plane. He crashed an ultralight. He was basically flying a kite with a lawnmower engine.
Yeah, so it was a kit that someone built for him that he bought, and then he got caught with a DUI the day before, and then he wasn't actually licensed to fly it. he fly and obviously crash into whatever the hell, maybe Western Virginia. I don't know where he
built
crashed.
his own plane? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, I don't think he built
No,
it.
someone built it for him, but it was this something that comes out of like a Temu box.
Yeah. Like if someone bought you the Grasshopper RC car, but they put it together for you. And according to this X account, not so fun fact, John Denver was an abuser who beat his wife and cut his marital bed in half with a chainsaw. Merry Christmas. All right, we'll see what we did. We made lemons out of lemonade.
You know what? I'm looking at his plane right now. It's a small plane, but it's a plane. I always thought it was an ultralight. Do you remember seeing those flying around when we were kids? When people were taking to the air in their kind of home-built, aeroplanes. This is more of a plane, and he was a pilot.
But he shot his neighbor's dog with a BB gun.
Well, who hasn't done that?
Me.
Do you think neighbors are shooting your dog because you leave it outside and it's barking at all hours?
If it is neighbors, please tell me. Please tell me if that's happening. I would actually like to know. He doesn't bark while I'm there, but there you go. All right. Well, listen, we found out a little bit of John Denver. Not such a great guy,
but a great song, celebrated. It's bringing our two continents together.
Yeah. Now I'm fascinated by how many bad things he did. He had 8 toes.
And he's not from Germany. He was born in Roswell, New Mexico.
Right.
Let's do a deep dive on John Denver for the rest of the show.
It's Veterans Day. We might as well.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. When we come back.
Did he serve? Should we thank him for his service?
No, but he wore a Naval Academy hat around like our friend Bill Belichick. To pretend. He cosplayed and stole valor, just like Bill Belichick does. All right. We will be back.
His father was an Air Force pilot. That's why he was born in Roswell, New Mexico.
And that's where the new Venom film that Esoteric makes a cameo in was a lot of it was based in. All right. We'll be back in just a moment with our friend Mike Reiss.
it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Makes it look like it's a run play and then sort of like jacks up, jerks him off of himself and then runs free to the left.
And Mike Reiss is in the crowd, and he's paid his own money to see Rick Springfield, even though he does free shows at church basements and on Fremont Street. Sing it with me before I can go on no longer. Mike Reiss not only is he's like a Da Vinci of the modern times. He knows so much about football, but he also is a great fan of the arts. You know, Da Vinci was a great scientist as well as a very accomplished artist. That's kind of where Mike Reiss is. He's the ESPN's NFL Nation reporter covering the Patriots. He's brought to you by DN Van Lines, moving your home or business, and need a recommendation from someone. How about a recommendation from almost the entire staff here at the Sports Hub and the Sports Hub itself? Yes, they moved the station to dnvanlines.com. Mike joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Hi, Mike.
Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Hardy. Hey, John. How we doing? How about that? Who saw that one coming?
Oh, yeah? Well, listen, it's stranger things have happened, that's for sure. But what is interesting is for just a one-game sample, you saw the number 1 pick in the draft against the number 3 pick in the draft. The number 1 pick in the draft was supposed to be in this. They were arguing, Mike, about like the best situation a high quarterback pick had ever been put into in terms of talent around him. And Drake May, of course, is in a bad situation because there's not a lot of talent around him. And for the day, Drake May looked like the better quarterback. Talk about Caleb Williams. I don't know how much of him you had seen in the pros before yesterday, but what are your takeaways with Caleb Williams, his skill set, and how he's playing now?
So, well, Fred, I really like him. And I think what we saw was an example of when the offensive line in front of the quarterback doesn't play well, it puts the quarterback in a tough spot and it creates uncertainty for the quarterback. And I mean, we've seen that a little bit in New England. So to me, this was an example of the shoe being on the other foot and the Patriots being able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think for Caleb Williams and the way he played yesterday, I want to hang a lot of it on the, his offensive line. But watching the Patriots defense and some of the issues that they gave to him, the credit's got to be given there too, because the 9 sacks alone is eye popping, but they were all over him from the jump and they didn't let up all day.
That's right, Hardy. And I think you definitely don't. You have to give credit to the Patriots, and I'm actually going through the game now, and one of the plays I just finished on before coming on with you guys was at the start of the second quarter, and it's 3rd down where the Patriots defense was excellent in this game. I think the numbers they held them, I want to say they held the Bears 1 of 14 on 3rd down, and it's 3rd and 3, Hardy. It's a quick swing pass out to the right to DJ Moore, and Keenan Allen is a lead blocker, if you will, against Jalen Hawkins. And if I were to say to you guys, who do you like in this matchup? Keenan Allen against Jalen Hawkins. You'd probably pick Keenan Allen, right? It's a really good player. Jalen Hawkins just wills himself past him, makes the tackle for the stop. So I think it's a good example of, like Fred, you made the point, like the Bears have good talent. They do. But this was on the Patriots matched it. And I think chemistry is also a big part of it too. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, these are good receivers. But are they helping uplift the young quarterback, or are they placing more pressure on the young quarterback? Because when they don't get the ball, how are they responding to that? So I think talent, chemistry, fit, all that stuff is part of this discussion.
What did the Patriots do differently on defense yesterday that they hadn't tried before? Obviously, Brendan Schooler is one thing. You never saw him on the field, and he was an impact player yesterday. But The sack, I think was it Hawkins who got the sack of Williams near the goal line at the end? I forget which one. No, I think it was him. But either way, I just think that Covington changed things up a little bit.
Well, he did, John. And I think, so 9 sacks. And the first thought that you have on the sacks is, well, they were really like ferocious on the pass rush. To me, the first 2 sacks were actually because of the coverage, where Caleb Williams gets to the top of his drop and he still has time to throw, and everyone's covered. So I thought, you asked, what did DeMarcus Covington do? What I saw initially was he played heavier personnel to stop the run. So more base defense with 7, call it big guys up front. And he relied on the secondary, Christian Gonzalez, moving Jonathan Jones to safety, I thought was a big wrinkle. You mentioned Brendan Schooler, and the secondary guys covered really well with less numbers because they were devoting more numbers up front to stop the run, which they did.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose him?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
We got a bit of a freeze. Give it a moment.
All right. We got a freeze frame?
Oh, well, Jay Giles, get some of that on.
My mom wouldn't let me buy that album because it had a song called Pee on the Wall on it.
Oh.
Do the flip, do the flop. Pee on the wall.
But I used to have a picture of Samantha Fox in wet lingerie.
She
up
let
on my
that
wall.
one go?
Yeah, the only thing I really remember her censoring was that Jay Giles album. Everything else I was allowed to have.
A weird choice, considering everything else that was around at that point.
She must have been going through something with my father. Maybe it was right after Christmas where he'd given her tennis balls and vacuum bags, as was his wont.
Problem, yeah.
Yeah. And then she would throw a fit.
But the tennis ball gift I like because it's a gift that presents itself twice. Once when you open up the can and you smell that new tennis ball smell, and then when you take them out to the court and whack them balls around.
Yeah, I think it was more that he went at 8 o'clock on Christmas Eve to Kmart.
Oh.
And bought all of her gifts.
Yeah, didn't hide it very well.
I got you a frozen Coke and some fish hooks.
And a Weird Al album.
Well, that was for me. That was when he was he had a lot of money. There was money burning a hole in his pocket.
When
he said,
should
you know what?
Back now.
I'm going to give my son a present. All right, Mike, hello.
Talking about...
Okay. Sorry about this. That's my fault. I don't know. Internet here in Chicago. But I just say, long story short, DeMarcus Covington, more big players up front, stopped the run, which they did much better, got them into obvious passing situations, and then they were able to bring some pressure.
Okay, so, DJ Moore is a good receiver. Odunze was a really high draft pick. Allen, has had a successful career. What are you seeing? Why is it just the offensive line and there's no time to throw? I mean, what did you see out of these receivers that Chicago has? And how good was the Patriots secondary?
I think I give the secondary a lot of credit. I thought Gonzalez really good, Marcus Jones really good. I thought the move of Jonathan Jones to safety was a good wrinkle. It ended up reducing the snaps for Marte Mapu. So I actually lean probably more towards the Patriots Fred on that than the Bears. I thought they just locked him up pretty good.
All right, Drake May, he was inconsistent. He could have thrown 3 picks in that game. He did throw one really bad one, but they win the game and he played well. Do you see a progression with him as time goes on? What are you seeing is how he's evolving as a quarterback, as a starter?
I thought the biggest thing, Fred, in this game was the response to adversity, because the interception was a bad pick. I talked about that he wanted to throw it away, and he just didn't throw it far enough away. To respond to that 2 drives later with his best drive, the touchdown drive, I thought was significant, shows mental toughness. And the biggest thing to me, guys, offensively in this game was they got the running game going. Their first 4 runs, 5 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards. And so when you get that going, it sets up play action and it makes everything easier. Like I thought Alex Van Pelt looked like a capable, quality offensive coordinator in the game. And part of the reason why is that it's easier to call plays when you can lean on the running game.
Yeah, and it looks like Mayo wasn't the worst coach on the field yesterday.
Well, that was going to be my next point. I mean, that there were some decisions that he made, and whether it was, the improved defense or whether it was just the play calling, as much as he has to do with that offensively, but the overall coaching job yesterday, what grade do you give it, Mike?
Well, Hardy, I'm glad you mentioned it, because really one of my biggest takeaways is just whatever grade you give the decisions, the guys are playing hard for them.
Yeah.
And I don't, to me, these are similar situations. Fred mentioned Caleb, the number 1 pick. The Bears needed this game. They hadn't lost at home for 8 or 9 games going back to last year. This was a get right game for them. And compare and contrast the way their players showed up for their coach compared to how the Patriots showed up for their coach. And I think in the big picture, those are the things that I'm just keeping an eye on. Like, how are the players responding to Gerard Mayo, who has said what he's hoping for is to be a team that no one wants to play by the end of the season. And I think everyone's realistic with the Patriots on they need more talent, but the talent they have is playing hard and the idea of trying to get the most out of what they have.
All right. Well, I've been hearing people bitch about the draft class that the Patriots have had. And to me, I don't know why you would be bitching this season, in that it looks like Mayo certainly is a capable head coach. I don't know if he'll ever be like a great head coach, but he's not a disaster.
He had the advantage yesterday. That's for sure.
Well, as we just discussed. And Drake May, certainly, if you hit that pick, then I would rather have that pick than miss that pick and get every other pick. But what is as we're a little halfway through the season, what is your read on the rookie class? I can't fault guys for being hurt. What's your read on the 2024 draft class?
Yeah. So off the top, they got the quarterback right, which I know some people say, well, that's easy. And anyone would have.
No. That's not easy at all.
Right, Fred?
No, that's terribly difficult.
Well, and I agree with you, because I think in retrospect, people say, well, obviously you take May at 3. But I don't think that. I think that's revisionist history.
Oh, screw that. You know how many people probably emailed or texted or reached out to you on social media and called us and said, you take Marvin Harrison.
Oh, God.
You got to build the team around it. Like, I mean, ludicrous stuff.
It's fine. You can wait for the quarterback. You got to get the offensive weapon.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Why not wait until next year?
Yeah, I would bet you it was a good 60% were against taking May in that draft. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So on the draft class, so they get the quarterback right, and I think that's the key piece. Once you have that right, everything else has a chance. I think right now you would have loved to have seen a little bit more from the rest of the class, but it's obvious, So if we judge it now, you're probably going to grade it lower. But I can tell you, they still feel like Polk is going to be a player, Baker is going to be a player. It's just receiver's a tough position to come in their view, and hit the ground running. I think they feel like the offensive linemen have a chance. Caden Wallace, Layden Robinson. So to me, if we're judging it now, I think the grade would probably be lower in totality. But I think let's see what it evolves to be, because I don't think you can write the story on it just yet.
One quick thing about playing the young kids. Kendrick Bourne didn't play yesterday, and he was told the day before it was probably going to happen that way. Is that what's going to happen the rest of the season? I mean, are they really going to give the kids 40, 50 snaps a game in that wide receiver room?
So John, that's an interesting one, because, Bourne didn't play. KJ Osborne did. And I think it was like 28 snaps or in that range. So I still think they're going to mix in guys like Bourne and Osborne, but ultimately, they're going to want to see more Jalen Polk. And I think Javon Baker, who only played 4 snaps, I think we're going to see him get in there too. They have 7 receivers. Basically 4 or 5 are going to play in a game. And I think we'll probably see Bourne and Osborne sort of maybe go back and forth a little bit here as the young guys get more snaps.
And how is this going compared to how you thought it was going? We'll finish up with that. Where they stand right now, how does this compare to your preseason expectations?
Fred, what I would say is the pivot point for me was London, when Gerard Mayo came out and said that they were playing soft, that they couldn't stop the run, couldn't run the ball. I wanted to see how they responded, because when you have a moment like that, that can go in a couple different directions. And I think since that point, they've played 12 quarters. I think they are what they are. No one's saying they're playoffs or anything like that. They're closer to the top pick than the postseason, but they're playing hard for Mayo. And I think it's going from that point maybe better than I would have anticipated. And I think that's a positive sign for the team and the franchise.
All right. Well, there you go. Mike Reiss, excellent job as always. We look forward to talking to you very soon. And thank you so much. Read them and watch them on ESPN. Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks, Fred. Thanks, Hardy.
Mike.
Thanks, John. Have a great rest of the show.
See you.
All right,
later, Mike.
thank you. All right. Well, I know that the audience might not be that large today because it's early on a holiday, but there was controversy during that interview. Nothing that anyone said, but there was a little bit of controversy that we'll investigate. And also, when the college teams get the roughhouse, another flight from hell, WWE style, was going on. Yeah. Imagine being on that plane when Ric Flair whipped it out. What are you going to do to him? He's the golden boy, the nature boy. He's the nature boy. That's why he has to have his genitalia out. All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. We will go around the NFL coming up at 8 o'clock. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Mike Reiss just joined us, and during the interview, I looked at Wallach looked at me, I looked at Adam, and Adam looked at me. And I don't think anything happened, but it can be investigated very quickly. This happened during the Mike Reiss interview we just did. Now, no, he's on Zoom. Now, Hardy did not hear this. Hardy did not notice this. He's not.
He doesn't have the well-trained ear.
Well, I just think I like how you said ear. Good. That keeps you in the mix instead of saying ears, where that would knock you out of this, because John, of course, only has one good ear.
Yes.
Because of the tumor.
Yeah.
Not there anymore. Got rid of it.
The tumor.
Right.
Yeah. Now you just have a horrendous scar.
Now you just have that big cauliflowered ear that's all deformed and misshapen. Is it just going to shrivel up and fall off one day because it's a useless appendage?
I've been given 18 months. Yeah.
That was the whole thing with Paul Stanley's
for
book.
The ear, yeah.
I had an ear. I had a problem with my ear, and I would cover it with hair. All right, here is Mike Reiss. You listen and feel shame that you didn't hear this the first time around.
How are the players responding to Gerard Mayo, who has said what he's hoping for is to be a team that no one wants to play by the end of the season? And I think everyone's realistic with the Patriots on they need more talent, but the talent...
No. Way too loud. Sounds like some kind of a digital...
by the end of the season. And I think everyone's realistic with the Patriots on they need... They need
with the Patriots on. They need more talent, but
it's also too perfect.
I mean, it is an electronic noise, but it's a very unfortunate.
It's weird that it happened during a pause in his speech as well. I find that odd.
Well, we did lose him at one point during that, too. I don't want to get fully on into it, but it is...
well, you know what? It was brought before the rest of us.
And, and then there you go. All right, I'll tell you, this 12-team playoff in college football is a real something, because I will tell you this, that it doesn't matter who you lose to, you're still in the playoffs, as in Notre Dame, who lost to Northern Illinois University, and they are almost certainly a playoff team. There's playoff teams that are in the top 10 or the top 12. You know, the top 12 teams go in. Mm-hmm. The top 12 teams, there are teams that have, 2, 3 losses. Who knows? That it's just there's no one except for Oregon that's anyone particularly overly impressive. Oregon's 10-0. Ohio State's 8-1. Texas is 8-1. Penn State lost to Ohio State. Fine. Indiana, whose coach is such a dick. Oh, he is such a dick.
10 wins for the first time in program history.
I know,
Fred.
and you would I'd root for the team that always sucks in the Big Ten.
This is the team.
But their coach is such a dick. When they're like, "What? You're winning." He's like, "Yeah, I win. Google it." And then he was talking like all this smack coming off the field, and he's like this old dork. Like he's just like a dork. And so hopefully they come down to earth. But they meet Michigan.
and you beat an unranked team by 5.
Yeah, I know.
Home.
And that was
it's not good enough.
Yeah, Notre Dame's 8th with an 8-1 record, with their loss being to Northern Illinois University,
which probably isn't the worst team on their schedule either. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, the big game was supposed to be the USC game, and then USC's no good. Yeah. So, I mean, you have Army at 9-0 on the outside looking in, and so on and so forth. Boise State with that running back, though, is on the outside looking in as well, as Miami, who lost to Georgia Tech on Saturday, somehow does not fall out of the top 12, which I don't understand either. But there are 2 lost teams ahead of them. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do? But the Auburn Tigers, not such a good team.
Well, we're talking about a
basketball.
Sport.
The Auburn.
Yeah,
basketball.
I know. But the Auburn Tigers, not such a great team. In football, I don't know how they are in basketball.
They're top 10.
Oh, they are. Well, very good.
Auburn is a top 10 team in the country.
All right. Listen, so what happened? Why are we talking about Auburn basketball, considering that everyone here has gone basketball crazy, especially when at the college variety. Why are we talking about them?
Well, I will always defer to John Wallach when it comes to the game of basketball, especially at the college level. But
it's got to be a little smaller a school, but go ahead.
Yeah, number 11, Auburn Tigers. Not a top 10 team, John.
Even after this win, we'll see where they are ranked today.
What?
Top 10 team.
As of this moment, they're
All
at number 11.
Technically fine. They're all right. You win. I lose. Auburn is flying to Houston,
right,
for a game against a top 10 team,
number 4,
the Houston Cougars.
Yes.
And
by the way, yes. In fairness, it is still the preseason poll that is out now. I don't believe that there's been a poll since the preseason poll.
Oh.
So there you go.
So anyway. It's a clash of the Titans. Two very good teams. Right. Auburn is on their way to Houston, and they had to divert the flight and fly back.
Why? Well, let's hear from the pilot.
Yes, sir. We have got an altercation on board. We knocked to declare an emergency and land. We got a bunch of basketball players fighting. The flight deck is secure. The threat level is contained for the moment. We just had, police on the ground, and we had 2 players that got into physical altercation. Clothes were ripped, and 1 bloody player.
Ooh.
And Center 2681, it's kind of crazy. Will we direct Montgomery?
Okay, so what is the punishment of the Auburn team going to be? As their
I think you know the answer to that.
Yeah. Well, you figure that's a private plane, I would imagine. Or is that a are they flying coach?
I don't know. I don't know if it's charter or not.
Okay,
I have no idea.
Because I'm guessing it's charter.
That big a school, the guess is probably right.
I'm guessing it's charter, but let's just say that's a charter flight, even if it's not a charter flight. They had to turn a plane around in emergency land because they were acting up. To me, if I'm the president of the university or someone who's giving NIL money or anything on down, I'm saying, well, they are not to play the next game. They are to be punished. Has there been any thought of what they were going to do to punish this team?
No, actually, they got on another plane, went back to Houston, and beat them. Good for Bruce Pearl for containing that.
Oh, Bruce Pearl, of course, is a man of great discipline.
Hell of a coaching job.
Auburn basketball had tweeted out a collage of photos before they left with liftoff and a rocket emoji, and some of the comments underneath that tweet are now glorious. We're so back, in parentheses, on the tarmac. Why is the first vote on it focused? Yeah, can we have an update? Basically, there will be no punishment. We know this, Fred. There's not going to be any. There's not going to be any discipline whatsoever.
So between the NIL money and the cost of the flying the plane, landing the plane, getting off of a plane, getting on another plane, flying that plane out, I mean, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars. Easily tens of thousands of dollars. And to the Auburn basketball program, that's nothing.
Nope.
They have to get this NIL thing under control. We had Jeff Goodman on, and there will be, there's going to be a cap on NIL money next year. I've heard Goodman's not the only person I heard say that. The old quarterback from Alabama, that's a big
Milroe? No.
No, you're McElroy. Greg McElroy was talking about it too. That's happening. There's going to be a cap on NIL money. But, I mean, there was a time, remember the old cute times where they would give someone a no-show job and just give them money that way?
Yeah, he would stare at a park bench in the quad. That was his job.
Yeah,
Took it.
Brian Bosworth. And then you would get drunk. They would get drunk before games and vomit on players, or they would, they would come to school on visits and be given alcohol, drugs, and women. Remember those glory days, those old-fashioned times? Now it's just millionaires on a private plane who can do whatever they want, and if they don't like it, they'll just turn around and take another private plane out. There's no discipline, and you can't go they're student athletes because they're not. They're not student athletes. They're not going to class. They're paid. They're professional athletes. Why this is happening in college basketball and college football is really mind-boggling. Then what's the point of it? It's just worse pro sports. That's all it is. It's worse pro sports. The players are worse. The teams are worse. Basketball, the difference in talent is astronomical. Like, why even watch it at this point? At least there was an illusion, and you had to underhand pay them. And Goodman was saying, with the NIL changes, they'll cheat again. Well, at least they'll have to cheat. At least they'll just have to cheat. There won't be some kid making $5 million a year in NIL money.
It'll at least make it more difficult, in theory.
In theory, but teams were always getting paid. Like, I don't think, the University of Kansas is so appealing to urban youth that they were like, oh, let's all go to the University of Kansas.
I think that's where Aqib Talib went, actually.
I mean, like Duke. Let's say Duke, for instance. Like Duke, let's go to this small school in North Carolina. Kid from Harlem. Sure. That's exactly where I've always wanted to matriculate. I mean, if it was based on like location and the proximity to good basketball talent, Rutgers would be great. Seton Hall would be great. NYU would be great. I mean, let's be honest. The University of Detroit would be great.
How bad does that fight have to be, though, in order for the plane to turn around and go back?
Yeah, that's more than 2 people.
That's more than, yeah. That's...
I don't know. It's roughhousing, and if I'm the pilot, I don't like roughhousing or horseplay.
They talked to Bruce Pearl. They asked him after the game, did this happen? How are you handling it? And he said, oh, don't worry. We're handling this head on.
I'm handling it the same way I did at Tennessee. I'm going to get myself fired for cheating. All right, we'll be right back with Around the NFL.
HD Boston.
Patriots!
From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass.
Yes.
98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Drake May completed 15 of 25 passes for 181 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, and the defense completely shut down the Bears in a 19-3 Patriots win in Chicago yesterday. Gerard Mayo saw his pass rush sack quarterback Caleb Williams 9 times.
Defensively, I would say we were able to get pressure. We were able to get pressure on the quarterback. We had 9 sacks in the game, which is always good, and I would say the back end did a good job as far as coverage is concerned.
Bears offense was 1 of 14 on third down. They managed 142 net yards for the day. The win gives the Patriots a 3-7 record. They'll play the Rams next in Foxborough this Sunday. L.A. is coming to town. They're 4-4. They have to play tonight at home against Miami. Dallas is now 3-6 after getting blown out by Philadelphia 34-6. Jerry Jones said after the game, though, he does not think he'll fire head coach Mike McCarthy this season. The Milwaukee Bucks hit 20 of their first 30 shots. They scored 40 points in the first quarter, but the Celtics withstood all of that and came back for a 113-107 road win. Jason Tatum, 31 points in the win. The Celtics are 9-2. They play Atlanta at TD Garden tomorrow night in their first game of pool play in the NBA Cup. And Oklahoma City beaten by Golden State last night, 127-116. They also lost top center Chet Holmgren, who took a hard fall and suffered a pelvic fracture. He's out at least the next 8 to 10 weeks. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Premier Basement Waterproofing. This winter, the guru, Mike Albert, is the only one you let into your basement if you never want to see a drop of water again. 844-LIVE-DRY or premierbasement.net. Say it with me, it's game over for water. I'm John Wallach of Boston Hill for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Boston plays here.
Pritchard, half court, it's in the air. He got it! He did it again!
98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Around the NFL with Toucher and Hardy.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy as we go around the NFL, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube, as none of you are probably even up now because even though there was traffic coming in this morning, it is, of course, a very important holiday, Veterans Day. But there was football yesterday. In some cases, unfortunately. Go ahead.
Indeed, there was. And we'll start with the game last night as the Detroit Lions were taking on the Houston Texans. You were out last night, Fred. You went to the...
I saw the second half.
You went to the show. All right. Did you see those uniforms the Texans were wearing last night?
Yeah, they were menstrual red.
Wow.
So that's Mechie on back-to-back catches. From where we are in the press box with these uniforms, you have we've had a terrible time the first half here. We've been trying to guess at some of the numbers and look at body types here. So apologies to Mechie for cheating him on the first catch.
I mean, they were absolutely putrid. I didn't know what I was watching. I kept forgetting who they were playing.
But they're from the 1910s when they started.
Those face masks had sparkles on them, I do believe.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you don't like them because they were for people before cars.
Yeah.
That huge, long Houston Texans legacy.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well,
you couldn't design anything better.
It was all Texans early on.
3rd down and 10 at the Detroit 15. Stroud shotgun. Dari in the backfield with him. Here's the snap. CJ looking. CJ firing to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. John Mechie. Hello, end zone. The Texans score right before the half.
Let me tell you something. I would play you the interceptions that Jared Goff threw last night, but we don't have enough time. 5 picks. I mean, 2 of them were like legit bad luck. Just, that sucks.
You know why John Mechie, I know his name's Mechie, but you know why John Mechie, who they just mentioned, deserves all the success in the world?
Oh, boy. This is going to be a bad one, isn't it?
Because
I see
get it ready.
No,
get it ready.
I see you winding yourself up. Go ahead.
John Mechie, why he deserves all the success? Well, he's a mensch.
All right. The Lions. What do you want? Do you want to dwell on it?
Obviously. All right, he's done.
Lions trailing 23-7 at the half, but scored all the points in the second half.
And I do want to say something, is that Collinsworth is the best analyst there is. He really is. Because, and I heard bad ones yesterday, but he's a really good analyst. He was saying even when the Lions were down and they got it to 13-23. He's like, even if the Lions lose this game, this is a really good game for them because, look, we all know they're making the playoffs, and these are the kind of games that you got to get used to playing in. And that was actual analysis about a meta-analysis of a season, which I thought was, I mean, is so rare. It's so rare. I mean, how many times have you heard analysts crapping on a team in the first half that goes on to win the game?
Right.
You know, just that was like a thing. Like, all right, the Lions, look, they're coming back, but even if they don't win this game, this is something that they can grow and learn from. This is a good game to play. They haven't given up. The fact that they're playing this tough still.
Goff had a bad night.
Goff has thrown 5 picks.
Goff had a horrendous worst night of his career, and they still managed to.
In fairness,
hang in there.
Goff was really going for it. He saw something. Maybe he thought he was too precise. You know, he had all those all those completions to Amon St. Brown in a row. Amon St. Brown. He didn't last night. He missed him twice. But he had gone like 5 games without an incompletion to him. Some of those interceptions were 50 yards downfield. I mean, he was airing it out last night.
I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's reception streak was at 30. I mean, it was absolutely insane, and then it just all fell apart last night. They intercepted Stroud early in the second half, but then they gave it right back. That was the 5th interception of the game for the Lions, but somehow they managed to come back and tie it at 23 with a 58-yard field goal. And then,
from 52 yards out to send the Lions home with a victory. There's the snap, spot, kick away. It is up, and it is good. He got it. We're going to fly home on the wings of Jake Bates. Oh, baby. Good from 58. Good from 52. And that's good enough for a victory for the Detroit Lions.
26-23.
He won the game for him. Jake Bates, if you don't know the story, was a kicker for the Detroit franchise in the American Football League. He hit like a 63-yarder for them. The Lions heard about it, had him come in to try out, and now he's a kid that's hit. He's one of the better kickers in football, and he hit two must-make field goals. 1 to tie and 1 to win last night. A tremendous.
8-1. 8-1.
Yeah, they're far and away the best team in football. There's no question about it. I mean, they are right now. I don't know if they will be, a month from now, but right now they're the best team in football. There's no question about it. That's as bad as that they can play in the first half, and they still came out and beat a good team.
Fred, I don't know what you're complaining about. I mean, you're a New York Jets fan.
Yeah.
Your kicker kicked 2 field goals yesterday, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, he's their third one. But, because the guy they had kicked last week couldn't get the ball in the end zone on kickoffs. What do you mean, Fred? He couldn't get the ball into the end zone in kickoffs.
Do you know how far that is? I'd like to see you do it.
Damn it. You always get me with logic.
Unfortunately, they were playing a team that could score in ways other than kicking field goals.
Murray is in shotgun. Snap to Murray. Drop straight back. A fade. Right corner of the end zone. Harrison. Oh, what a catch with one hand for a touchdown.
Oh, that wasn't a one-handed
Harrison
catch.
Jr.
Oh,
hauls
boo.
it in with his
Screw
right
you
arm.
with your one-handed catch.
Drop in the bucket by Murray.
Everyone go watch that catch and tell me that was a one-handed catch. It was a beautiful pass. Reed was in coverage. It was a beautiful over-the-shoulder pass. Harrison didn't do anything. One-handed. You know what? Thank you, God. It just replayed on my computer. That one-handed catch, if you count with both hands, is one. By the way, okay, the Jets, it's a catastrophe. The Arizona had a 270-yard and an 80-yard drive, I believe, to start the game for touchdowns. The Jets moved the ball their first 2 possessions, settled for field goals. The Jets' defense couldn't stop anything. They couldn't stop the run. But, I mean, they were up against Trey Benson, who had 62 yards on 10 carries. Kyler Murray set a franchise record for consecutive completions, and that game was 16.
22 of 24 for the game.
Yeah, he had a consecutive completion record was 16. The Jets are an unmitigated disaster. Aaron Rodgers is not good anymore. He can't move. But that wasn't the story. The story was their defense that is just amazing. And you'll like this, fans that hate the Jets. Tight end by the name of Trey McBride. The Jets are down, I believe, like 14-6, maybe 21-6. They're finally going to get a 3-and-out. Trey McBride, there's a penalty. It's like 3rd and 15. Trey McBride catches the ball about 10 yards downfield. Sauce Gardner grabs him, has his arms around him, and Trey McBride says, "Oh, I'm 5 yards short of the first down marker. Okay." And then just knocks him off of him. Sauce Gardner, his arms around him, like completing the tackle, all his body weight down, and Trey McBride goes, "No." I don't think Sauce Gardner is that good. And I wouldn't pay him. I'd pay Garrett Wilson. I would not pay Sauce Gardner.
Okay, so obviously the coaching staff is gone. Aaron Rodgers gone.
Joe Douglas is gone.
Joe Douglas gone. They're going to blow things up and start over again. Obviously Garrett Wilson is a good receiver. You don't blow up the entire roster.
No.
There are good pieces there.
No.
But the plus side for the Jets, and we always look at this chart when we come in every Monday, the Jets now 3-7 tied with the Patriots. They have the 8th overall pick in the NFL draft. They may drop far enough, which I didn't think was possible. I thought Rodgers would be mediocre enough for them to wind up in the middle of the pack. They wouldn't be in range of a quarterback. It is possible now that they will be in range of getting the quarterback they need in this draft.
Yeah,
class.
they can't blow up the team. They just...
No, the coaching staff and the GM are gone. Aaron Rodgers will be gone. But Breece Hall is theoretically a very good player.
Yeah,
So is Garrett Wilson.
I don't know how much I'm playing Breece Hall, but they do have pieces. Like, I wouldn't give up on Quinnen Williams. I wouldn't give up on Quincy Williams.
They have 5, 6, 7 guys that you can go, okay, we can build with these people.
Right.
So, all is not completely lost. And if you somehow if you somehow manage to fall far enough where you get a quarterback in this draft class, then you can sell that to the fans. Okay, reset, but here's our quarterback. Here are the core pieces, and away we go.
Strong quarterback draft class. So
I know.
I'm trying to be helpful.
You know who would thrive in that Jets organization is Shedeur Sanders.
There you go.
He would thrive.
Are you sure you want to get rid of this guy, though, Fred?
A lot of emotions this year, for sure. I thought, after a big win, nice long week, we were going to come out with a lot of energy and win the game, and we just, we didn't come out with great energy on either side of the ball. And offensively, you're not going to beat anybody scoring 6 points.
I have a conspiracy theory for you, Fred. Shedeur Sanders is within range, whatever the Jets pick, 5, 6, 7. They decide Shedeur's the guy. Dion has been on record as saying, well, there are some teams we don't want him to play for. We know. He's going to try and pull an Eli Manning and force his guys, Travis Hunter and Shedeur, somewhere. Say the Jets draft Shedeur Sanders and Dion gives his say-so. He said, I'll let the kid play in New York, whatever leverage he has, but I want to be the head coach. Do the Jets do that?
Well, obviously, Shedeur Sanders is a once-in-a-generation talent. You would have to do that.
So Dion will be the head coach in New York next year. Can you imagine? It'll be showtime.
That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous.
And then Shedeur will be the quarterback.
You'd have to be John Elway. And if you recall quarterbacks coming out, John Elway is as good a prospect as there ever been. John Elway, you maybe make Dion an assistant, but no. Okay. I don't think that.
Colorado's really good this year.
I don't want that. They're better than people thought. They're not going to make the college football playoff, but they have 2 losses. But I wouldn't want Shedeur Sanders. I don't want him on the Jets. I don't want him anywhere around there. You've seen with these quarterbacks how good a person you have to be. Like it's not enough to have physical talent. Like you have to be a very good team guy. You have to be incredible with the media. You have to be humble a little, at least humble publicly. Like there's so much that goes into it. I do not want Shedeur Sanders. He's not good enough to justify his attitude. I don't want him. Now the other kid that plays both ways.
Mm-hmm. Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter is just. I would take him in 10 seconds.
Well, you got to be a top 2 or just top to get that kid.
Yeah, but fortunately, Hardy's right. It's a terrible quarterback draft, so.
Not a nail-biter there between the Cardinals and the Jets, but there were nail-biters between the Steelers and the Commanders and the Broncos and the Chiefs. We'll get to those next.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is called a tease. And we will be back with that in just a moment.
More.
You'll have to excuse us. We're under great fortune. The cafeteria downstairs is open even though it's Veterans Day. Does no one celebrate Veterans Day anymore except schools?
It's banks and other places. They're all closed today.
You know, if I was like a World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War veteran, because I'm just saying this because they're older, I'm rocking that hat at all times.
Oh, yeah. Especially the, like Bill Belichick will tell you, the Navy hats are the best because it's got the, name of your ship on there and all that stuff. Those are cool.
If we could interview Bill Belichick and just go, like, if you like the Navy so much, why don't you go into it? I just want to hear him answer it. If you idolize and, like, worship the Navy, the Naval Academy.
So your one question for Bill, mine would still be, why didn't Malcolm Butler play in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
That's still my
question
one and only
number
question.
one.
Okay, here's the deal. You know why that's my question's better, and I'm being serious? He's been asked that question a million times before, and he'll just go like, The naval one, there's no backing out of. Why didn't you go into the Navy? Blah, blah, blah. No, why? There's nothing to hide. You're not protecting anyone. Why didn't you? It was a decision you could have made. Why didn't you do it? The Malcolm Butler thing would be like, there's other people involved.
I'm approaching it from a fantasy standpoint. If you could have one question answered.
Oh,
but you're
yeah,
right.
all right, yeah.
Yours would be, he would have to give you some kind of an answer that isn't going to be, I did what was best for the football team. Because he can answer that with any game-related football question in history.
I can, in fact, tell you about 5 questions that I would ask him. I would ask him why he loves the Navy so much, why didn't he join the Navy? I'd say, why are you so loyal to Patricia, and why does Lombardi walk around kissing your ass? What do you tell those guys to do? Then if he was like on my side, I'd be like, when do you think Lombardi would tell you to stop it? Like, what request? And then maybe you go, ha, ha, ha.
Same question with Patricia, by the way.
Yeah, and then I would say, what does your family say about this 24-year-old who's got you doing all this stuff?
Let's start workshopping some photo ideas involving Patricia and Lombardi. As long as...
Oh, yeah.
Just go to Grindr and pick up whatever you want and then just superimpose their faces on them.
Let's go to D.C. instead, where the Commanders were taking on the Steelers.
First and goal. Handoff. Eckler to the left. Over the goal line. Second touchdown of the game. Touchdown. Touchdown, Washington. And the Commanders take the lead.
Yeah, he's annoying. That whole Washington situation is annoying. I heard some of that in the car. Not a fan.
Not a fan of a certain spot on a play call late in that game where it looked like the Commanders did get the first down.
Oh, the tight end catch?
Yeah, I watched it several times.
He didn't get the first down.
I don't think so either. You know what bugs me, though? If that were the goal line, they would call that a touchdown 10 times out of 10.
You think so?
Yes, because they call it differently on the goal line.
It was 4th and 7, and Daniels made a completion to their tight end. The tight end, when he caught it, had his knee down. Obviously, he's not down. He hasn't been touched. He realizes he needs to get further. He gets up off the knee, but then he's immediately tackled. And they reviewed it a million times. It didn't look. They called that he didn't get the first down, and you and I agree he didn't get it. That's a game where Mike Tomlin is just such an underrated coach. I mean, the Steelers have no business being 7-2. Russell Wilson throws this weird deep ball that apparently is the S, that this moonshot ball, like with all this air underneath it, that he's like the only guy in the NFL that can do it. If you like dropping it in a bucket kind of situation, he throws it high and it falls like on fly routes, like right into the receiver's arms. Yep. He's apparently like incredibly gifted with that.
George Pickens, another nice catch in the end zone.
Well, I mean, that's over. I mean, look, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Pickens played for Alabama, so this wasn't hardcore research. John's referring to the fact that the Patriots took Tyquan Thornton in front of George Pickens.
2 picks before him.
Even though George Pickens...
Traded up to get him.
Even though George Pickens was considered a incredible prospect with a bit of an attitude problem, to that I would say he's a wide receiver.
Tyquan was really fast in college, though. Had legs you could break over your knee, but really, really fast.
Tyquan Thornton has legs like me. And he's the only professional athlete outside of basketball that I can say that about.
Pickens wasn't. That's the other thing. Pickens didn't go missing at Georgia. He was pretty good.
No, if Pickens didn't have attitude problems, Pickens would have been an easy first-round pick. Pickens is a huge, gifted receiver. He's the guy that you take. Dude, when they took Tyquan Thornton, we talked about it. There was this huge run on receivers. And I bet you they're all better than Tyquan Thornton unless they killed somebody. I mean, Tyquan Thornton's as bad as you can be. He never has done anything, and he hangs around, and they paid him. I mean, they paid him his rookie deal, but they paid him his second-round rookie deal.
Let's hear from Russell Wilson real quick before we move on.
In these moments, these critical games, these fun games that we have coming up.
Oh, no, I didn't want you to stop it.
Oh, okay.
No, because I just got... Okay, I'll tell you what it is. So, so they don't get the first down. Steelers take over. Washington's got all their timeouts. Timeout. It's a fourth down play. Steelers come out like they're going to go for it, but they're obviously not. They're just trying to draw Washington off sides. Just all you got to do, you could stand there. You could just stand. You could just stand around if you're Washington and just wait for the play clock to run.
Yep.
They jump off sides.
Yep.
They jumped offside.
I couldn't effing believe it.
I know.
Like, they're not going for it. No, everyone knows they're not going for it here. They're waiting for you to jump. Just don't jump. And he jumped. It was unbelievable.
It was really unbelievable. Like, you could have just stood around.
Anyway, Russell Wilson.
In these moments, these critical games, these fun games that we have coming up and all that, and being so locked into the moment and loving the moment so much that you can't miss it. Sure enough, we were able to do that. I think we needed to answer the call. Once we got that touchdown, the defense stood up like the best defense in the world that they are.
Shut up, dork. And when they jumped off sides and you're like, oh, that's kind of funny, Russell Wilson turned to the sideline and did some like dorky Mr. Winslow from Family Matters dance, and it ruined everything. Well, at least my father's happy.
Russell. Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, there's no question he's a huge dork, but Tomlin's a great coach.
He's really, really good. All right, so people were asking me yesterday, did you go money line on the Broncos against the Chiefs? Yes, just like I did the week before. I believe someone will pop the Chiefs, and I thought I had it going yesterday.
Oh, why? I don't know why you could have possibly thought you won that bet.
Harrison Butker had given them the lead, but Broncos marching right down the field afterward, and they converted on 3 third downs to put themselves into position. Easy chip shot field goal to win the game.
Placement is down. Let's just kick. It's blocked. It's blocked. It's blocked. The Chiefs blocked the kick. They're going to stay undefeated. The Kansas City Chiefs blocked a 35-yard field goal attempt. Kansas City wins this game on a blocked field goal.
You want to hear dumb guy take?
Yeah.
Chiefs lose in the first round of the play. They're not going to play in the first round. They're going to lose their first playoff game.
After going undefeated.
Yep. They'll go they're the worst undefeated team of all time.
I don't know how they're still undefeated.
Denver's defense is good. Bo Nix can't play very well. He's better than some.
He's okay.
He's better than Aaron Rodgers. But that's not saying a whole lot. Sean Payton obviously doing a masterful job keeping this team around. But, I mean, Denver did everything they had to do. It was a chip shot. They got into that. I turned the game off because I was watching that game. I turned it off because at the time I was still under the illusion the Jets might win. And if Denver lost, then it would make things a lot more clouded in the AFC. I shouldn't have worried about it at all. But the idea that they blocked that kick, I mean, this is insanity. They're winning games they have no business winning. It's just nonsense.
7 of the 9 wins have been by 7 points, or by single digits. It's insane.
And if you don't think there's like learning how to win, even at the NFL level, then you don't follow the NFL.
Broncos radio call, might as well.
Placement, kick on the way. It is blocked. I don't even know what to say. I really...
Well, make with the words, stupid.
We can't see what's happening there. We have no idea unless you say something.
And by the way...
Make with the talk.
That's bad. Because, think about it, because even Socci... Socci
would call the play to start to finish. He would not get interrupted with his emotions.
you can't act like something sad happened right away. You have to act excited because something exciting just happened.
Exactly.
Placement. Kick on the way. It is blocked. I don't even know what to say. I really am at a loss for words.
Well, then
35
quit your
yard field
job.
goal blocked with 1 second to go, and Kansas City is going to get out of here with a 16-14 win.
Dude, you're 5-5. Like what did you think you were going to win in the Super Bowl? Stop with the crying.
Oh God.
Be like me and take the losses, standing up.
Take L after L after L.
Yeah,
It's
you learn.
fun.
Like,
All
what,
right.
what did you think they were winning the Super Bowl?
Big game for Kansas City this weekend.
Yes.
In Buffalo.
Yes.
Prime time. They got the late window. CBS, Nance and Romo will be there. It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a great game. In fact, there's, if I'm not mistaken, next week is a pretty good week after 2 bad weeks.
Yes.
I think that there are some good matchups.
It was a
next week.
bad one yesterday.
Yeah, Eagles Commanders on Thursday night. That's nice.
Which is a lot better than the Eagles Cowboys.
Hurts back. Hurts looking. Hurts still looking. Still looking. Hurts is starting to run. Now he fires. Complete. Touchdown. This time it goes to...
Okay, I'm not listening to that. I'm not.
Poor Merrill Reese.
We'll leave that one alone. Yeah. It's so much better to listen to Jerry Jones after the game when he was asked about his head coach.
Mike's a heck of a coach. He's a great coach in my mind, and has and should have the opportunity to do better than we're playing right now. So I'm, like I said, I haven't had good experience changing coaches in the middle of the season.
I'll tell you this, is the Eagles are 7-2. And yet all I hear from Eagles fans is how incredibly upset they are about everything that's going on in that organization.
They stink.
Here's a question for you. Which roster is better off right now? Dallas or the Jets?
Oh, the Jets.
Okay, that was where I was headed. The Jets didn't just pay $60 million a year for a quarterback, and the Jets didn't pay an astronomical amount of money for a wide receiver for a 3-6 record.
Yeah, whose season was more disappointing is up for debate. No, the Jets are in a much better
Heading
situation.
forward, much better.
And thank you for putting it, because the Jets were masterfully put together in this way. But, yeah, because the only argument for Dallas would be they have their quarterback, but then I would say the CD Lamb and Prescott are 40% of their cap next year.
Yes.
And they are. And those are the kinds of things that you can't just manage. You can't defer the money or do something. There's ways to manipulate the cap and fit guys under it.
No, but then the number
not
is
like
just
that.
too big. The
Like,
number's
not
just
like
too
that.
big.
Yeah, you can't. There is a point where you got to start. Like, they're going to start losing talent on that team. Like, that team's losing talent. So, but if I'm the Jets, I'm not paying Sauce Gardner. You get the hell out of here. I've never seen a guy. I don't think Sauce Gardner might be stronger than us. And I'm not exaggerating. Is he faster, more athletic? All of those things are true. I don't know how easily he could tackle me.
CeeDee Lamb, 4 years, $136 million. Dak Prescott, 4 years, $240 million. There's no, you can't get rid of that number. You can't get rid of that gigantic number. CeeDee Lamb's making over $30 million a year.
That's such a ridiculous amount of money to pay that guy.
Dak Prescott's making over $60 million a year.
That I get, but I mean, look, you can massage the cap. We all know it. You can make deadline deals and move money around, and I understand the whole cap is not. It's not a hard cap like the NHL. You can't navigate your way out of that. Like, that's just too much money going to too many people.
If there's any
Too little
solace, Fred,
people, rather, sorry.
just be thankful your owner is not Jerry Jones.
Yeah, so they can whiff on another quarterback and kick this can down the road. You know, my son's only living at home, really for the next 2 football seasons. It would be nice if we could watch a product that wasn't over before Thanksgiving for once.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think about things like that, and I'm actually starting.
I know you've mentioned that several times. I think you'll have a chance to watch football with your son again after the what, 2 more years, 3 more
What are you
years?
saying? He's going to live at home? Be a loser? All right.
Maybe he'll
a bird situation.
Maybe he'll go to Curry College and live at home.
Comes home on fall break for Thanksgiving. Spends Thanksgiving with his old man. There's the football game.
Yeah, if the
Lions.
If he goes to Curry College, which I would be very happy with, I would. He would live on campus. I'm not letting him live at home. He's got to matriculate with the kids.
Okay, but he would still be home enough to where you guys could watch football games
I don't think
together.
he'd want to come home every Sunday to be with me.
Not every Sunday.
It is like that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where the guy died because of the Jets, and now I am. And this is not. I'm not kidding. I'm starting to think like, I wonder if there's a very good chance I'm going to die before they make a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's possible.
I would say that I would bet a lot of money on that being the case. Sure.
Like, even if I live 30 more years, which
Brad.
is there's a oh, stop that. I could live 30 more years. My doctor wrote me a very nice note.
Brady's dead.
I'm gonna read it to you just to tell you this.
She wrote you a note?
What was on my chart that
Oh.
is available on the portal.
Yeah.
Date: November 7th, 2024. Patient Fred Toucher. Birth date: none of your beeswax. Dear Mr. Toucher, below are the results from your recent visit. Your results are stable and improving. I'm glad the cholesterol has improved a lot. Please keep up the good work! Exclamation point. I've told you off air, Hardy can't do it on air. I've done an imitation of her telling me that I was working on being obese.
Right.
I do want to keep my job, so I won't do that imitation. But I could live to be 74 years old. It's 25 more years, gentlemen.
Okay. All right.
I mean, let's be honest, but the Jets aren't winning anything in 25 years. Let's be honest. Maybe Woody Johnson will get that job as
an ambassador to a foreign country.
Like
Yes.
he did the last time, the
Right.
ambassador to the United Kingdom. And we can...
his brother will come in and run it.
His brother's apparently a lot smarter. Maybe he'll sell. Now's a good time. The economy looks to be shaping up.
Do you even care? I mean, like, they could get a win next week. They're home against the Colts. They could win that game. Do you even care?
Easily. Yeah.
Do you care?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would care.
Ruin your draft status, but you know.
All right.
I'm not worried, believe me. I'm beyond that.
I'm telling you, Shador and Dion. Make a poster, Shador and Dion in 24.
Dion's not coaching NFL football.
Oh.
All right. We'll be back, and then watch. He'll get a job today. All right. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Patriots defense sacked the quarterback 9 times yesterday. They beat the Bears at Soldier Field 19-3. Patriots have won 2 of their last 3 games. They're 3-7. They will host the LA Rams this Sunday in Foxborough. Rams are 4-4. They host Miami tonight. Kansas City stayed unbeaten last night. They blocked a field goal on the final play of the game and beat Denver 16-14. And the Celtics won in Milwaukee yesterday, 113-107. Jason Tatum, 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. Celtics are 9-2. They play pool play at the NBA Cup tomorrow night when they host Atlanta at TD Garden. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Bentley University, where good business begins and leaders come to learn. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Eggnog is back for the holiday season, and Honeydew has some delicious ways to enjoy this festive favorite. How about an eggnog latte, hot or iced, with bold espresso? Or keep it classic with eggnog chilled over ice. Honeydew, do life.
Boneless chicken is now on sale. No bones about it. Today through Thursday at Shaw's and Star Market. Get value pack all natural Signature Farms boneless chicken breast or thighs for just $2.47 a pound when you use the digital coupon. Limit 2. When you shop with the Shaw's app, you get amazing deals and earn points on every purchase. Short on time? Order ahead for free curbside pickup or get delivery. Don't miss the savings on boneless chicken. Shaw's and Star Market. Perfecting the art of fresh.
Make the Sportsbook at Plain Ridge Park Casino your home away from home. Gather with friends and family and catch all the fall football action on New England's largest indoor screen. Enjoy epic watch parties, incredible prizes, and an atmosphere that puts you right in the heart of the action. Plus, experience the thrill of sports betting and fuel the excitement with delicious game day flavors. The Sportsbook at Plain Ridge Park Casino, your game day headquarters all season long. Hope is here. Call 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. Live chat at GameSenseMA.com.
So are you this person, you're leaving those store-bought reading glasses all over the house, maybe in the car, you can't read a restaurant menu, you can't see your golf ball, the font on your phone is so big your kid can read it from across the room? Are you just at wit's end with your vision? Well, Boston Vision has great news for you. They have many options to correct your reading, intermediate, and distance problems with vision correction. Come find out what procedure is right for your vision. Book a free evaluation online today at bostonvision.com and start down your path to visual freedom. Boston Vision has locations in Brookline, Wellesley, Medford, Andover, and Milford. Because your best vision is Boston Vision.
Contractors, Arlington Coal and Lumber Supply has been supplying your industry with everything you need to make your next project a success for over 100 years. Arlington Coal and Lumber offers a full line of building.
Got your finger on the pulse, Fred. Seldom right and never wrong.
Right here.
Oh.
Is that Dutcher or is that Hardy?
I know looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Very quickly, you know that Bill O'Brien now is the big coach of your Boston College Eagles, and they had a big win after a couple down weeks as they took care of Syracuse, who was at the time 6-2, I believe.
Yep.
And they beat them 37-31. But did you know this about Bill O'Brien? Not only is he an accomplished football coach, but he's also punk as F. Check it out.
So when you took this job, you talked about getting back to BC hard-nosed football. Is that what it felt like today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we have to be, right? We're in Boston. You know, we're not in L.A. You know what I mean? We're in Boston. We're in a city that's built on toughness and determination and grittiness and overcoming adversity, and you know, that's who we are.
Do you know that he was the original bassist for Jerry's Kids? Now, does anyone in the room get why Adam and I are so...
Not in L.A.
Does anyone from in this room get that we love that why he said that so much?
Nope.
Do you know, John, as someone who grew up here?
I really don't. Why?
Just play another song. Maybe they'll get it, Adam, if you got anything.
Yeah, I don't. That's a problem with the This Is Boston, Not L.A. hardcore punk compilation from the early 80s is I don't know what they're... I had to cut off the end of that one because and sub in Bill O'Brien's fantastic...
We're in Boston, not in L.A.
Just because there's no F word.
You guys are not aware of the This Is Boston, Not L.A., the famous compilation of Boston hardcore bands that came out in the early 80s?
I thought John Wallach was a regular at the Rat back in the early 80s when these all-ages shows would go down and the Freeze and Jerry's Kids would co-headline. I thought Wallach was a regular.
The FUs, you were not a fan?
No.
All right. Not even Gangrene, who went on a major label at one point.
Oh, Gangrene. All right, I know them.
Changed their sound completely.
Well, yeah, then they would have a half pipe on stage and ride around on gators. So, again, if you missed it, Bill O'Brien is punk as F, as witnessed by this.
Let's do it.
So when you took this job, you talked about getting back to BC hard-nosed football. Is that what it felt like today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we have to be, right? We're in Boston. You know, we're not in L.A. You know what I mean? We're in Boston. We're in a city that's built on toughness and determination and grittiness and overcoming adversity, and you know, that's who we are.
The way you repeated it too, it almost has the same cadences in the song.
Yeah,
I know he doesn't know what he's doing, but
you got to play the song after it.
I'm getting it set up for you right now. That's why I'm trying to stall here a little bit. You know.
This is Bill O'Brien on bass. All right, see, look at Bill O'Brien. And by the way,
we're in Boston, not in L.A.
Look no further for the toughness of Boston than the streets of Newton and the farmers market people with their tote bags and jeans when it's 99 degrees outside, and the look of absolute terror on their face whenever you walk by them, or the idea that you have a dog on a leash in a dog park is somehow walking to a dog park is somehow akin to walking around with an AR-15 loaded and cocked and pointed at them. No tougher city in America than Boston. I mean, look no further than Brookline. Brookline and Newton, I mean, very, very, very savage towns. Now, the north side of Newton, I mean, people do get busy around there. You understand?
Mean streets.
Yep. All right.
Is there any chance he knew what he was saying, though?
1,000,000%. He was like, this is Boston, not L.A.
Yeah.
Is there? He's 55 years old.
I mean, he is in the.
He's a Boston guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from here. He's from Boston. You know what? When you mentioned it, I bet you anything that he knows the Boston, not L.A. This is Boston, not L.A. comp
See, I thought
album.
it was a big stretch, but now that you guys are putting in that light, I'm tending to agree with you that he is.
Because they were playing
aware.
Syracuse. They weren't playing a California team.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe he was also stealing a little bit from Dan Campbell, going to biting off kneecaps thing when he was referring to Detroit.
Yeah. I like this even better now.
Get Bill O'Brien on the phone.
Yeah.
And tell him it's just a one-question interview. And the one question is, what was your favorite band on the comp?
Do you own the... Well, actually, yeah, we probably know the answer to that already. Yes, he owns the This Is Boston, Not L.A. Is he a Groinoids guy?
No, SSD...
Do you like Decadence?
SSD was not on that compilation, were they? But Al from SSD is a P1 listener.
Yes.
The Proletariat?
Yep.
I mean, Al gave Adam free clothes.
That's right.
Even though Al's not in some great huge band.
He's actually not giving me anything for free. He's giving both you and Hardy free things that I've then taken from you.
He said he sent you a bunch of stuff. He said Hardy
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, but I gave you one of the hats.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gave Adam everything.
Yeah.
You know why? He needs it. I gave him everything because I figured he could use it.
You're a good friend. You're friend in need. He's a friend indeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to take it from the Felger and Maz show because they're obviously going to go over this material as well.
Yeah, they got 2 segments planned.
They got 2 segments about how Bill Bryan said this is Boston, not L.A.
Right, 2:30 and 4:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's 4 people in the audience today.
Oh,
that's a neat reference.
You think it's 4?
Oh, I think there's 4 people in the audience. We have a big enough audience where 4 people know the Boston.
Okay.
This is Boston, not L.A. comp. I know it.
Yeah.
I knew it before I moved here.
I know, but
it's not the greatest.
Taking you 2 out of the equation, I don't know if it's 4.
Well, for the crowd you run with, it's all hopped up on
25 glasses of soda. I know.
No, and running around making love to Keith Sweat records. I mean, that's not us.
That's true.
Some of us, held on to our virginities until we were 15 and then didn't get laid again until we were 18. Had a horrible, horrible sexual experience.
The longest 3 years of your life, it has to be.
I just kind of, I got with girls, but I don't think I wanted to have sex again after the first time for a while.
Did it not go well?
It was horrendous. It was horrendous. She goes, turn off the light, shut the blinds, turn on the fan. I'm not taking my shirt off. And I went, oh. And then we were in my room at home while my friend was banging this other chick, and my mom was home.
Oh.
And they were in another room.
This is not romantic.
And then my mom was kind of like getting being underfoot. So we went over to my friend Lee Weiss's house, went into his bedroom. She made the speech about all that. I had a box of condoms, and I went through all of them in a feeble attempt to get one to cover myself while still aroused. And then finally just decided to go bareback into the whole situation. And it was quite embarrassing. In fact, if you want to talk about an erection, I had a reverse erection.
I don't, but...
Why, does that freak you out? Does that freak you out, Grandpa?
You got treads full of tension now. Shouldn't have said anything.
Does that freak you out? Is that too real for you? This is Boston, not L.A.
We're in Boston, not in L.A.
What is unreal is that as a 15-year-old about to have sex for the first time, you couldn't maintain an erection.
I was so scared that I just kept losing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
Were you the first time you had sex? Were you with someone you knew?
Yeah. No.
You get the
stranger
point.
on a bus.
Well, this was essentially a stranger. I mean, I didn't know this girl very well at all. I knew her
you went about this all wrong.
Yeah. If what I should have done, and what I've told my son is, if you're going to have sex for your own good, get all the puritanical stuff out of the way, all the parent stuff out of the way. If you want to literally enjoy the experience, if you want this to be at all pleasurable for yourself and not damage you for years going on, if you want this to continue happening, do it with someone that you feel comfortable enough with that you can talk about it beforehand a little bit. And that if you screw up or if something goes wrong, they're going to be forgiving and that they like you or love you enough to kind of forgive that whole process. Because for me, I was not in that kind of situation. And then the girl, I never told you, then the girl kept saying how she hadn't had her period. And so people would write on my locker at school, Little Freddie, and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world that I might have gotten this girl pregnant. And then it turned out that she was not pregnant. You know how I found out? She came up to me at the party and she goes, "I'm bleeding." And I said, oh, good.
Nice.
She was fancy. I'll tell you this, Artie, because you grew up in the area. Lake Town girl.
Why is that? What does that mean?
A little rural.
Dirt road.
Yeah, and then and then after that fiasco, she was in my room, her and her friend, with me and my friend, and they were going through one of our yearbooks, and they said, "Why are your pictures not in the seniors?" And we said, "What do you mean?" And they go, "How old are you guys?" And we go, "Freshmen." And they went, "Oh my God," and they got up and left. And there you go. I didn't lie. We never lied. We just looked old and acted mature. Hence the million rubbers I had to go through. All right. We'll ask Bob Socci about the first time he got laid.
Those weren't cheap either.
It wasn't a financial concern at that point, Hardy. It was more of a pride concern. And did it take some time to get over that failure. All right. We'll be back with Bob Socci.
Bears.
Bears got the best of me. I said, Bears on my fantasy. I said, Bears into what I like to do all night, all right.
And Bob Douglas with two blockers, sprints across the 35-40.
You get the big guy out there blocking. An excellent time to get a little guy in space. That's hard for a big guy to do.
Bears got the best of me. We do it all night, all right.
Booty and Polk to the left. Booty and Polk. May with the play fake in the pocket, wide open receiver, left Polk, and it's an easy flip and catch for a touchdown, Patriots!
Oh, you have an adversity that hits you your first two quarters, and Drake May settles down on his drive. That's a good job by him moving the football team.
Bears got the best of me. I said, Bears on my fantasy. I said, Bears into what I like to do all night, all right. Bears.
And they're dumping out. Stormer buses. Thank God.
Boys. We are Toucher and Hardy, friends of the gay community, and Tom Goss, who's a entertainer, very big in the bear community. He's got Nerdy Bear songs as well.
Sent me the instrumental version of that song to use yesterday. Thank you, Tom.
And I'll tell you this, is that there's a man named Bob Socci that would not be a bear, he would be a cub.
That's right.
Because he is looks to be hirsute.
Got me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got you. We're talking about where you would be in the gay community. You slow down. No need to chime in just yet. So anyway, in the gay community, Bob would be a cub, I believe. If one of you could please affirm or negate this, in the fact that he's not a big bear.
Right.
But he might be hirsute. I don't know. I've never seen him with his shirt out.
Well, according to Zoe, he is.
Oh, well, then he would be a cub.
Yes.
You ever been told that, Bob?
No, Fred. I've never been told that, but interesting to find out this morning. And yes, Zoe has made mention of my well, whatever. John just touched on it.
Yeah, I have a lot of body hair too, and
what can I do?
I think that we are persecuted, and I don't really know why.
As
Bob.
do I, yeah. And we would have been sex symbols in the 70s. We've talked about this before, Bob. It's not just Burt Reynolds, watch an Albert Brooks movie,
Right.
Modern Romance, where he's got, furry shoulders, and there was no effort made to hide it or to groom it. It was just was considered a plus. Yeah, that was something that was desirable. So we can just pray for those days to come back.
Bob?
You have nothing more to add?
I will pass that along to my son, who is now discovering at the age of 14, the sociogenetics. So,
nice.
Yeah.
My unfortunately, my hair is disappearing up here. So hard, Hardy,
Where are you pointing?
If you know anybody, you can give me advice on that.
All right, we can't see
I'm open
you.
to suggestions.
So it's a mystery where you were pointing, but we can only speculate.
Log on to the YouTube there. I'm looking at Bob right now. He looks like $100.
Bobby! All right, so Bob, I've been called an otter. Bob Socci is the voice of the New England Patriots. He joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Bob Soci's hot takes are powered by Bigelow Tea. If you want to know what keeps Bob's voice in peak condition, it's his hot cup of Bigelow Tea. Hot takes and hot tea, Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Before we get into the results of the game yesterday, what was your expectation of that game going into it yesterday, Bob?
I thought it would be a very difficult game for the Patriots to win because I figured the Bears would have to come out and play with an incredible sense of urgency themselves at 4-4, looking ahead to their schedule. They'd won 8 in a row at home, and they were feeling the heat. They needed a big performance, I think, for the quarterback and the coaching staff. So I kind of thought what we would see is the best from Chicago. And maybe it was the best, and Chicago's among the worst because, the Patriots, came out and they were able to establish the run. I thought the Bears defense would be better in that aspect, but the Patriots were able to at least be successful enough early in the run game, I think, to give you a sense that, they could win the line of scrimmage offensively, and they were able to do that defensively against a banged-up offensive line and a quarterback who really seemed to be struggling, trying to make decisions back there, read the field, which has been one of the criticisms of Williams of late.
All right, so, Bob, when you look at the two quarterbacks, who knows what it would be for the future. Before the game, John and I we're discussing who would you want for one game, that one game on Sunday. And before the game, we said Drake May over Caleb Williams. Now, who knows? Obviously, but Caleb Williams was put in a situation where he was supposed to be set up to succeed. Drake May was put in a situation where he was expected to be set up to fail. And Drake May won that game and had more success. Caleb Williams looked confused. Did you take anything out of that? Not for who's going to be great in the future, but what did you take out of the quarterback competition just for that day, that one game?
Yeah, Fred, I think that when you looked at the two quarterbacks yesterday, whatever advantage Williams had coming into this season, supposedly out of USC as the more pro-ready quarterback, is clear-cut number one, or at least he and Jaden Daniels clear-cut 1 and 2. Drake May behind them with some considerable distance in terms of being NFL ready in the eyes of some that I read and listened to. Drake May's more than made up ground. I think he's passed Williams in a lot of areas, and you touched on a big part of that is May's ability to make quick decisions and get rid of the ball, and his mechanics even, for a guy that was not mechanically coming out of college with ample reason, with his footwork, with his release and so forth. I thought yesterday watching Caleb Williams, it looked like not only was he struggling with his decision making, and it's been a knock on him, as I mentioned earlier, that he doesn't throw receivers open. He's really waiting for guys to come open. And in the NFL, you can't do that. And I think some of those sacks certainly were on him as much as they were on the Patriots pass rush and the Bears' problems on the offensive line.
That's a good way. It leads me into the question. Patriots had 9 sacks yesterday. How many of those, just ballpark it for me, do you think Caleb Williams was responsible for?
John, I can't, I would say a fair number, whether it's a third or roughly. I always think that the sack number it's kind of like the stolen base in baseball. Often it's as much on the pitcher as it is the catcher. Is it more so one or the other? Some cases, yes. Some cases, no. I would say it was a combination of things. Yesterday, I would also give the Patriots a lot of credit for some of the things they did schematically. We certainly all got a big kick out of the Longhorn package, employing Brendan Schooler as a spy on Williams and him getting to the quarterback as he did. I thought the Patriots did a good job of picking their times to blitz. Tavai got to him late, for example, coming on a blitz from the second level. So I think it's a lot of those factors, but I think certainly it was a contributing part and a big part of the pressure that he incurred himself. But going back to, I think, Fred's question too, I mean, to me, like, the ball came out of May's hand. You look at the throw that he made to Austin Hooper. He was decisive. It was an extremely difficult throw. He was very accurate for the most part. I mean, he had the interception, poor pass there. But generally speaking, not that it was a startling performance numbers-wise, but I thought he was far more accurate, certainly, than Caleb Williams yesterday, and has gotten so from he was North Carolina, whereas it seems like Williams has in some ways regressed from what he was projected to be or what he was advertised to be coming into the season.
Yeah, and we had talked about it earlier too, Bob. You mentioned the giving credit to the Patriots defense and the use of Brendan Schooler there. I mean, that was nice to see him get his first sack, but is that something you think we're going to see more of as they try and I guess ride this wave? Because defensively there were certainly issues with this team in all aspects of the game, but defensively it looks like they found something yesterday, and some of those new looks and some of those new personnel packages, might see more of that in the future.
Oh, we might see more of it. Certainly, Hardy. I think next week going up against the Rams, and I wouldn't expect that necessarily. I think, again, with a young quarterback like Williams, they wanted to keep him in the pocket, and he was a guy that they worried about his ability and his ability to keep alive. They were with some of the injuries they've had. It made a lot of sense maybe to try something creative back there with a guy like Schooler. And, he responded, and it worked well. I don't know if he can continue to do that on a regular basis. I mean, they signed Ngakoue, who had been a very good pass rusher at times early in his career. His production has certainly tapered off, which is why the Ravens let him go. But maybe he can give them more of a pass rush when they're rushing 4 and try to get pressure from those guys up front, which they haven't consistently generated except for yesterday's game. I want to go back to one other quick thought about Caleb Williams versus Drake May. And I'm going to give a nod to Alex Van Pelt and the coaching staff of the Patriots, who've certainly been criticized, and in a lot of cases, I think, questioned, rightfully so, this season in terms of play calling and overall the approach during games. I mean, Alex has been very honest and introspective with us in the media. But I thought when you look at the way the two offense operated and the way plays were called yesterday, there really seemed to be no rhyme or reason. In fact, after the game, I read something that Louis Riddick said about Caleb Williams and the Bears offense. It looked like they were just calling plays. And Shane Waldron is a guy that came out of that McVay coaching tree, the Shanahan background. And he's under a lot of criticism in Chicago. I mean, that's an offense that has generated over the course of the last 3 games only a couple of touchdowns. So they're not functioning well in any respect. And I think a big part of that, too, is the coaching right now with Eberflus on the hot seat as the head coach, but Waldron as the offensive coordinator also right there with him. And I think you have to give credit to Alex Van Pelt, his patient approach with developing Drake May this year. And I thought he's done a very good job the last couple of weeks with him.
All right.
Well,
I don't know that I can convince myself that they have a chance to win again next week. I was trying to do it earlier. West Coast team coming east, early game. It's gonna be tough to continue the momentum with another win. But
take the good things where you can find them.
It does seem like they've got some momentum.
They've won 2 of the last 3.
Exactly.
There it is. Momentum.
Well, the Rams have a difficult situation not only coming east for an early game, but they're doing it after a Monday game. So the Patriots get your break.
The Rams are going to win by a significant margin. Can we get this over with?
Shut up, Fred.
They have the superior coach. They have by far the superior quarterback. They have superior weapons. They have the superior defense. They are going to win that game. It's a good team coached by a good coach. They're not winning.
Yeah,
they're not. I don't know what the spread is, but they're not winning that game.
Chicago on paper is talented, but they are coached by a bad coach. I think we can all agree on that.
And they're not talented like the Rams. The Rams got Stafford. I mean, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. And look, I think everything's going as good as it could possibly go for the Patriots. You found that look, you found that Mayo was the better coach in that game. May was the better quarterback in that game. Mm-hmm. You won a game where you had, on paper, less talent. And so what you've wanted out of this season were 2 things. Number one by a long shot was May looks like the real deal. That's what you wanted to see. And 2, that Mayo can have this team playing hard and keep them throughout the season invested and involved. You got those 2 things. So I'm bullish and all that. They are not beating the Los Angeles Rams. That's not happening.
Fred, can I add something too? And I think based on what we've talked about in the past, it would be consistent with your thinking. When you look at the Bears and the talent they have, they've spent a lot of money the last couple of years, and I think a lot of us thought, myself very much included, that they went about it with Caleb Williams to compete right away, maybe in the right way, because they surrounded him with some veteran talented players like DJ Moore last year that they got in the trade. And then they drafted Williams with a return as well with that deal they made with Carolina. And then they got Keenan Allen, of course, and there's a bunch of other guys on the defensive side of the ball, Edwards and Edmonds, that they've paid a lot of money to, Byard as well. These guys are older. And I look at the dysfunction yesterday offensively, and I watched them on TV last week. Zoe and I watched them coming off to the sideline yesterday. It's apparent they're not on the same page. And I think that the Patriots have a long, long way to go. But the idea of going out and doing it all through free agency and then adding the the draft pick, the quarterback, isn't necessarily right.
All right, we got to wrap up. You're breaking up, buddy. We got to let you go. All right, so there you go, Bob Socci. We were so patient with his connection.
It was like get like that for 2 or 3 seconds, and then it'd be fine.
Yeah,
I know, but we were just
hesitate.
We're just so nice that we never even cut him off.
The Rams 5.5-point favorites at this very moment. Before they even play tonight, they're 5.5-point favorites.
I would be shocked if the Patriots won that game. But again, for the whole season, I think that if you're a Patriots fan, this is a great season. This is fantastic for you.
No, you want to make sure those are the two things. More important is the quarterback, but second is the head coach. You want to make sure that Mayo is a good head coach, and we saw signs of it yesterday. We saw signs of that he can coach, in a test of moving chess pieces around the board.
You talk about small victories. We haven't seen evidence that he's a disaster either, and that could have been the case. You don't know. If the guy had never done it before, you have no idea.
The whole win thing 2 weeks ago. I mean that was a whole kicking into the wind,
which is
choices like that,
is a mistake. And there are things where you wish that. They'd be a little cleaner and have a few things, I guess, tightened up a little bit. But we've seen what a disaster head coach looks like in Urban Meyer. We've seen disaster seasons from coaches who were already established. There's nothing disastrous about this. You know who your quarterback is. You've got a coach who seems to be, figuring things out and not having huge gaffes or blow-ups among the team, and you're picking up a few wins in the process. I would agree. You should be happy with the way this season is going.
Yep. No, I think that if you're a Patriot fan, this is everything you could hope for. I heard people bitching about the draft class outside of May, and to that I would say it's unfortunate, but you can't ping guys for being hurt, and even if they all end up sucking, whatever, you got May.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Now, look, we'll see how the next draft goes, and then you can evaluate Elliott Wolf. But up until now, if you're finding things to bitch about this team, I don't really know what you're bitching about. May's the real deal, it looks like, and it looks like Mayo's certainly a good enough coach to warrant coming back next year, and that's all you really wanted to see. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, Pucks and Paddles, our event with the Boston Bruins is happening November 20th at the House of Blues, Boston, to benefit the Special Olympics Mass. Bidding is officially underway to play with your favorite active Bruins player, me, Hardy, Ryan Johnston, who's, of course, doing play-by-play. Now, it says visit the events page at 985thesportshub.com to bid now. I'm not positive that's working. Now, that could be an error on my part, but I will tell you this. Hardy, what is the number to text? Do you have that on you?
I did.
Text paddles to 76278.
There it is.
Text paddles.
There you go.
76-278.
76, the year 1976. 69 plus 7.
76, and then 27, the magic age of rock star deaths.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's when Janis Joplin.
And there were 8 of them
Hendrix.
who have died at the age of 27. 76,
Kurt Cobain.
278.
Okay.
That's how you remember it.
Mama Cass Elliott.
Yep.
She a 27 club?
I think so.
Is Karen Carpenter a 27 club?
No.
No.
God, you're stupid.
Yeah. People are saying that.
But Mama Cass Elliott and then Karen Carpenter, such different body types. One very heavy, one anorexic. All right, are you guys getting inundated with emails like I am today because of the holiday and that everyone's listening?
Lots of emails.
Yeah,
I have them.
You got them? All right, what do you got, Johnny?
Hey, guys. Hey, as a native Michigander, I expect both Fred and Hardy memorialized the 39th anniversary of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And there would be no better way to honor those who lost their lives than for Adam to play that song.
Did you give Adam a heads up on that,
No, I
John?
did not.
Okay.
And I realized that the moment I was reading it, I did not discuss that with
Unbelievable.
Adam. Yeah.
I
That was
know.
bad
It's
on my
really
part, Adam.
unbelievable.
Sorry about
Now
that.
he's got to add when he's got his... Now, why are we playing this?
It's the 39th anniversary of the actual wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. For some reason, apparently that happened in Lake Superior. I have no idea.
Yeah, the big lake they call Gitchigumi.
Why am I unfamiliar with this?
They called it Gitchigumi.
You know this song, Frank.
No, I've heard of it referenced, but what's the record of the Edmund Fitzgerald?
You want to handle this?
I was just going to say, let's just let the whole song play. It's a holiday Monday, and then Fred will learn the story by listening to the song.
Once that starts, you're in trouble. It's bad mojo.
So they would load up the ships with the iron ore from Wisconsin and all the places where they would make steel, and then they would come across
crappy
Lake
folk
Superior,
songs?
come across Lake Superior. They would go down Lake Huron, and then they would go up, Ontario and area up into the saltwater or the St. Lawrence Seaway, and they would deliver to steel mills and all that stuff. And yeah, they were loaded with iron ore. And one of these November gales came along, and they think it was the three sisters that got the Edmund Fitzgerald. They don't know for sure. They radioed in that they saw 2 big waves coming, but then it's that third wave. You brace yourself for the first big 2, and they don't know. She may have capsized. She might have broke up. She might have broke deep and took water.
Now, this only happened how long ago?
50.
I thought someone said
years
34 years ago.
39, according to
39.
the emailer.
That happened in 39 years ago, and that song came out. No way.
Gordon Lightfoot's song was before that.
No.
He's like a Shel Silverstein kind of guy. Annoying.
It's not 39 years ago.
It's got to be longer.
There hasn't been a folk song in 55 years.
Yeah.
I mean, 39 years ago. My
49
God.
years ago.
49. Thank you.
It happened in 1975, and that song came out?
Correct. Well, the song came out in 1976.
Right.
Oh.
That's not a good song.
No.
The Wreck of the Edmund
Frank,
Fitzgerald.
it's a great song.
It's a great song.
You don't
capital
believe
G,
that.
great song.
Is it
No,
Gordon
I
Lightfoot's?
100%. I love Gordon Lightfoot.
Is he that
Why?
his only song?
Because he's a fantastic songwriter.
No.
He tells stories through song. Yes, he is.
Why don't you just read the story instead of having to have some hippie sit there and announce it to you?
Because
like
if they're
you're an
waiting
idiot.
around for people to read the story, you're going to encounter people like you who don't even know what the hell he's talking about. How do you grow up in Michigan and not know about the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald?
Oh, I was in the my parents were in the high-paced advertising world. They didn't have time for any kind of boats or anything. We were making things happen at WB Donor. We were working with Vlasic Pickle and Tootsie Roll. I mean, had other things happening. We had
it's
banana.
It's part of the
Chiquita
zeitgeist in growing up there.
We had not for me, not city folk. You lived out in the country. City folk, we were moving, shaking, headline making. We had things to do. We were part of the automotive industry, baby. We're not. And
how long have you been medicated and just numbed to so many things? Because I feel like you missed out on a lot of stuff. You were in
not when I was a child.
Haze
not when I was a child. Too late, if you ask some people.
Hardy, didn't you do a Gordon Lightfoot-inspired headlines when he passed away last year? And it's a Sundown, I think it was.
We did a Sundown headline years ago. Yeah,
loved that. Well,
yeah.
it couldn't have been that long. I think he passed away last year.
I don't think it was in honor of his passing. I think we replayed it then, but we had done it
just for the hell of it?
No, probably during COVID when we were like, oh my God, we're going to talk about something.
Wait, Gordon Lightfoot had more than one song?
Sundown is a hell of a song.
Now you're just trolling, John.
No, I'm not. I don't know Sundown.
Can you play? Yes, you do. Can you play Sundown?
I bet
please?
it's really good too.
It is.
I bet
really
it has
good.
an acoustic guitar and really makes you think.
It could be like one of your ska bands where every song sounds essentially the same.
Oh, you like the the Specials are such a horrible band.
Oh, I do know this song.
Of course you do.
I don't.
Sundown.
Yeah, this is the. Hang on, this is the theme to.
Chico and the Man.
Just shoot me. This is the theme to Just Shoot Me.
Some jackass covered this in the 90s, Hardy. We
I know
played it on the,
some stupid a-hole.
Shut up.
I know this song. Okay. I know this. I don't know the.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry, we gotta get the harmony in here. Here we go.
No, we don't. Why am I not controlling the board? Board is of no use to anyone.
Bingo.
Why is this board not working?
Finally.
Why has Dennis not made it so I can control?
Adam has found the button, the override button.
He really has an override button, apparently.
Yeah, good.
Sundown, I got a stupid acoustic guitar, and every song with acoustic guitars basically sucks.
Yeah, you say that, but then you name like 3 or 4 songs in rapid succession that have acoustic guitars that you actually like. So I don't believe you.
Every rose has its thorn. Doesn't that have an acoustic?
Do you like that song, Fred?
Yeah. I like it because I can tell you why. Because when I was way too old for it to hit home, a girl broke up with me, and I probably was like 17 or 18, like too old.
Okay.
And had been long not listening to Poison. And I looked at my tape collection, and I had open up and say, maybe that was the album that was on.
I think so, yeah.
And I said, I put it on, and it actually spoke to me at that point.
See? Music cares for you, Fred.
More than words, extreme, brilliant.
That's not about a breakup.
No.
Stupid. If you're such an analyzing, that's about he loves the lady. Every rose has a thorn about a breakup.
Right.
Just like Clean Sheets by the Descendants is about coming home and seeing that the woman's sheets are dirty because she had sex with someone else. And says, even though you'll never come clean, I know it's true. Those sheets are dirty, and so are you. Boston, not L.A. Remember when we did that with the Bill O'Brien thing?
That's right, I do.
So Zoe's been texting me. He said, do you want me to text Bill O'Brien? I said, yes. What do I ask? I said, if he knew he was making a punk rock reference when he said this is Boston, not L.A.
We're in Boston, not in L.A.
All right. Do you think he can get that information for us on Veterans
I'm
Day?
waiting. Look.
Because Tom says, here's one of the 4 people that know my girlfriend was listening in the kitchen and with me, and she knows, so there's 2.
Okay,
2
halfway
people.
there.
Yeah. John and Hardy, by the way, didn't know Adam and I using that reference.
But you didn't know the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, so.
It all works out.
Even.
It all works out.
Sarah from Everett wants to know if you are a Gangrene fan.
Yes. Gangrene, no. Jerry's Kids was the best band on that album.
Agreed.
And Jerry's Kids was the best band. No, I'm not a huge Gangrene fan, but I have I've met those guys.
I like their cover of Till Tuesday's Voices Carry because it's goofy and fun.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what they became. They became like they dressed like Anthrax in the 80s with those like colorful Van shorts.
Got all metalcore.
Yeah. That wasn't the greatest.
Didn't love that.
No, it wasn't the greatest.
Email here from Tom. He says, hardball. First of all, way to go on the pants. I myself was in a place over the summer where I didn't have access to my own wardrobe, and my wife inspired me to go and get Lululemon joggers because I only have one pair of pants. I'd resisted this for years, but F me if they're not the most comfortable pair of pants I've ever owned. May never board a flight again without sporting them. I didn't go Lululemon, but I went with a couple of different brands. 3 pair of pants purchased over the weekend, and I may not be done. This might be my new thing. I might just go buy pants. And I'm not done with the jeans altogether, but I'm also not willing to say the next time I'll put on a pair of jeans now that I'm wearing
you get rid of those.
Some very comfortable pants.
Ted Johnson had said to me, I'm like, what do you work out in? And he goes, Lululemon pants. And I'm like, ha, Lululemon, that's like girl stuff. And he goes, go get a pair of Lululemon pants and tell me what you think about them now. And now all I wear is Lululemon pants. They have a zipper in the back for your wallet when you have no ass, and you can't afford that to fall out. And then he also said, I said, what do you get in the cold plunge or the whirlpool at the gym? What do you wear? You don't bring a bathing suit. And he said, like those athletic shorts that cling to the body, like the spandex.
Oh.
And I went,
oh.
And so now but I wear the spandex, but they're connected to shorts.
You still carry a wallet, first of all, a wallet or a money clip wallet?
Well, I would say a money clip if it was a money clip.
Okay. Like a trifold or bifold wallet?
I don't know if it's, I don't
like
know
George
what sexuality.
Costanza? You keep stuff in there. You got a get a free wildlife poster from any Tampa area Chevron with a fill up of 8 gallons or more. Oh my God, you have a wallet.
Yeah, I know, because my ex-wife she was like, I think I'm going to buy Milo a wallet for Christmas, and I'm like, I don't think people carry a wallet anymore.
No, this is all you need. Look.
Yeah,
just
I
a
know.
clip, and I got 8-10 cards in there.
Team Fred got mine. Yep. Well, although mine
okay,
has a
so
money
that's
clip
all
in,
the
so I
evidence
guess I'm
that
both.
you need that you're doing it wrong.
Where do you
How
keep
dare
your card to get into the station?
Right there in front. Right there in front of the cash.
Touche. And you have a wallet too.
And you shouldn't be carrying it in your back pocket anyway. That's the main reason why I stopped carrying a wallet in my back pocket when I was, 18 years old, because I started carrying a money clip in my front pocket. You carry it in front. In the front, Fred.
Sometimes I put my wallet in the front if I don't have a zipper or a button on the back.
Well, that's better than carrying anything in your back pocket.
You know what I'm afraid with a money clip is that I'd lose it. Because it's like when you have stuff in your front pockets and you take it out, if you really want to get interesting, I'm afraid that I would take it out and that it would fall out of my pocket, like when I was maneuvering things around.
Well, you're going to get pickpocketed next time you're on the subway platform.
Yeah, but then I get to use my kung fu.
Oh.
Once I know that happened. And plus, I carry way more money than you guys.
A lot of cash.
I got a ton of cash on hand.
Right.
Ton of cash. I'm always throwing it at hookers. All right. Anyway.
Oh, boy.
I apologize. I know it ain't. Hey, baby, I know. But what do you do with your dry cleaning receipts? I mean, come on. You got to have that somewhere. Please. What are you going to do with your Audubon cards, right? Right, Adam?
I have a separate wallet for those.
Okay, very good. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
it like to work with Hardy and Wally?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Yeah, it is time for the stack, damn it. And we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. The stack is brought to you by D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches. Have lunch with a legend this week. D'Angelo's legendary number 9 sandwich, grilled sirloin or chicken smothered with onions, peppers, mushrooms, and American cheese, only at D'Angelo.
Well, boys.
Yeah?
For a couple of us here, it was a mistake. For one of us, it was a happy accident, or dare I say something that was done on purpose to avoid something the last couple of weeks, but it will not be avoided today.
Hey guys, today I want to show you all an exercise. This is the 3 thumbs.
3 thumbs and 1 bum from yesterday's Patriots game.
Fred's favorite part of the show.
I just look at these cubba-dubba-doo. That's all right with me. And then before we get out, Adam, we got to play the thing Hardy made with Tom Goss's music again.
Yeah, we can go out with that today.
Yeah. Right. And don't so much interrupt us with the ass man, just forcing us. It's like playing someone off the stage when they just want an Oscar.
Hey, I have to say, I'm quite proud of my use of ass man. I always pay attention to what you guys are saying, and I always try to get it in almost as a punchline or what have you.
It feels like I'm being almost forced out the door.
We can get rid of it if you'd like.
No, okay. That's bad. Now you're playing with bad mojo.
Okay.
All right. So what do we do here? We got to say.
We all got to come up with 1 thumbs up player, and then we agree on 1 bum from yesterday's Patriots win over the Bears in Chicago.
Okay. Go ahead, John.
We haven't talked about him all morning. Brendan Schooler, sack, special teams guy.
What do you mean we haven't talked about him all morning? We talked about him with ourselves. We talked about him with Bob Socci. We talked silly about Brendan Schooler.
Again, don't worry, John. Your disability is not.
Brendan Schooler is my thumb. He played well yesterday out of nowhere on defense.
You need 2 of them. You need 2 thumbs.
No, 3 thumbs. So he gets a thumb, I get a thumb, you get a thumb, and then we agree on 1 bum.
My bad, John. I take it back. Yes,
all right.
You're right. I'm wrong.
I'm going Austin Hooper. 3 catches on 4 targets for 64 yards and the long of 28. Austin Hooper is my thumb.
All right, I'm going Behringer, 5 punts, 285 yards. He averaged 57.
Okay.
I mean, he had a 75-yard punt.
Wow.
You got 1 inside the 20.
All right.
It was a game of field position.
Who's the bum?
Oh, I know who the bum is, and I'll be serious about the bum. Do you want to know the bum, and it's true? KJ Osborne. He flagged for a penalty running out of bounds, and then with the catch, he is useless. KJ Osborne is a useless player. In a game where, it wasn't an entertaining game, but in a game where the Patriots showed they were the better coach team with the better quarterback, KJ Osborne, I don't know how he... People were like, they should trade him at the deadline. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For what? To who? Like, I'll take your crap. Not that he's not a great human being, KJ.
KJ Osborne is a bum for stepping out of bounds at the beginning there and coming back in.
And then there was a flag.
Yes.
He would have, that would have been, they were rolling there for a little bit too. All right, what's your bum?
No, we all agree on 1 bum.
Did we all agree on KJ Osborne?
Sure.
I agree with you, Fred.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm. Well
See?
done.
Now you would play it again. You would play the theme now. This is just for the future, Adam, so you know.
No, you can play it right now.
Yeah, you play the theme right now.
Today I want to show you all an exercise.
And that's why we do it. Three thumbs and a bum.
Cubba-dubba-doo. Cubba-dubba-doo. Cubba-dubba-doo.
See, it's Fonzie going, hey, that's your thumb.
Yeah.
And then right on the beat.
I'm a nice man.
Oh, it's time already?
It's really mixing it up on the 1s and 2s back there.
Yeah. Listen, whatever keeps that kid interested. Whatever keeps him from talking during the ride. Did Bill O'Brien get back to you, Scotty Z?
Scott has Bill O'Brien's cell phone number. I just have one non-football related question. Not yet. Not yet. Well, soon enough, he will have that. Well, I hope everyone enjoys your Veterans Day. If you're working like us, just know that you're the people keeping America moving, keeping the financial companies, cranking.
America, baby.
It's America. The market's open. Does no one celebrate Veterans Day anymore? It seems. Does anyone have today off? Did we have an audience? We half-assed the show and we shouldn't have? Then there's that guy.
Who said we half-assed the show?
No, we didn't half-ass the show, actually. We didn't do that.
You guys didn't come out of the gate fast.
Huh?
You guys didn't come out of the gate fast.
Did or did not?
Did not. At 6.
Oh, and we never do.
No, we never do.
No, we kind of heel-toe it for the first 20 minutes or so.
I like the 6 o'clock break because it's a fun anything goes break. The audience loves it.
Yeah.
The audience likes the
It's a
6
slice
o'clock
of
break.
life.
It's a slice of life. I mean, we're not going to come in at 6 in the morning screaming and yelling about a Patriots team. That's for sure. I would if it was 10, but not at 6. No. Everyone needs to wake up, find out how everyone was doing. How Fred, what movies did you see? Did you see the guy from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones? What did you do? And then I tell them, and everyone feels better, and now we can get onto the show. And what did Wallach do? I don't know. Hallmark movies this.
One of these mornings we should ask him, what'd you do, Wallach?
Over the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then that's putting him on the spot. Then he would have to think. What did I do?
I'm sure I could deduce an answer.
What did I?
Oh, boy.
That hurt you.
Still salty.
He really is. I'm estranged from my son. All right. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
And hello again, everyone. A very pleasant